It is your Wednesday night sports delight, the platform sports talk show. I am your boy Smooth, along with
Hey,
when it's about sports
it becomes our business.
and business. Just picked up. What is going on out there, Bunny? How you been?
Happy hump day, hump day. Do you hear echo?
I don't hear anything. You good?
Okay. So, mid-October, fall classic going on. No more basketball. I'm a little hurt. We ain't got college hoops yet. I don't even have tennis going on right now. Football, okay. Hockey, none of that. What is a girl to do? No more WNBA.
Hey, you
We
know
ain't got
what?
bowling. I mean, what are my options
I
besides
was I was
baseball and
saying
football?
I was saying the same thing a few weeks ago. Like once baseball season ends, which would be by next week, it's gonna outside of football, it's gonna be a slow little month or two coming up. So we definitely got to make sure that we provide that great sports content every Wednesday and occasionally on Thursdays right here on the platform Sports Talk Show.
You got it. At this point, we about to make sports and talk about it and keep it relevant because it's dead period. At this time of year, it's not normal. Usually it's dead in the summertime. We in the fall and have an empty slate for the
Right,
most
because
part.
usually by this time you're having basketball season starting up already. They already had the training
Hmm.
camp going. First game of the season would have been
Hmm.
going on. Like now, we're trying to find out when the actual NBA draft is going to be.
Yeah. So have they given anything close or a hint of when that's gonna happen?
Right now, I have no idea. I might have to do some Googling later on and see what's going on, but there hasn't been any set date to my knowledge. If y'all know, let us know. Real quick,
Yeah.
shouts out to, of course, one of our faithful members, Alice Williams. She says, hi, Fred, hi, Bunny.
Hey, Miss Williams.
There it is. And to everyone watching for the first time, thank you very much. Make sure y'all go ahead and like us on Facebook, on Twitter. Go on YouTube, subscribe, click on that
Bell.
because anytime we go live,
You get notified.
there it is. So yeah, we have a lot to discuss. We have a incredible show this evening. Some guy, is gonna be on our show later on. No pun intended, huh?
I'm about to say no pun intended, huh?
Some guy is gonna be on the show. Joe just said that hockey would be on now too, and now they gotta wait until January. That's correct. So hockey and basketball normally start right back to back. So
Yeah.
slow period gonna be coming up very soon once the baseball season
Oh,
ends.
yeah, golf. The Masters is going to take place next month. Whoa, a
You
whole
said
month
you
away.
said the
But
Masters are?
what did you say?
You said the Masters?
Yes, they
Okay.
pushed it back. Usually it's in April. They pushed it to November.
Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Go ahead with the round table as we begin your Wednesday night sports delight. By the way, shouts out to Stan. I know he's probably getting to the money legally. So do your thing.
You got to put that disclaimer in there legally.
Legally.
Hey, I'm not the judge or the jury.
Hey.
Do what you do, make that money.
Right. So let's go and talk about a few things. Today it was announced that Odell Beckham is now banned for 2 years from his alma mater for
Unless you so full of it, but go ahead.
hey, that's the NCAA for you, right? So we all know that
But
last
well,
year.
LSU, I thought proactively did that to try not to get so much heat put on them.
Of course, trying to save face. But for those who don't know, this past season when LSU won a championship over Clemson, it was the video of Odell Beckham Jr. giving over. They said about $2,000 worth of
Look,
money.
you're doing the Oprah.
Here you go, bam.
You
Here,
get a stack.
take
And
this.
you get a stack. And you get a stack. And then I'm going to make it rain on that to y'all.
Right. So now he's been banned for 2 years from the university. So that's that.
Blah, blah, blah.
Right. Now, some very cool news that I saw today on Twitter.
Mhm.
Candace Parker and her daughter Layla have joined the ownership group of LA's new NWSL team. And this ownership group also includes Serena Williams and her daughter.
Hey.
So,
does that mean it's room for me and my daughter?
yes,
Come on, I can
yes,
get with the big people.
yes. Let's get it
The
in.
big important women.
Let's get it
Hey,
in.
sign us up too.
And
Hey, hear me, Candace, hear me, Serena.
there
I
you
got a
go.
little one. Let us get on board with y'all.
Uh,
I got crumbs and y'all got dollars, but still.
she got that change.
You know what I'm saying? Little Sasha Penny Bank, it's a little something in there, just a little.
Right. Alice said that she shared and reminded folks to watch tonight's show and make sure exactly. So for those who are commenting right now on my personal page, do not do that because why, Bunny?
You will not be seen. Okay, we can't see your comments.
Exactly. So if you're on
Platform,
Facebook,
go to our page, comment.
there we go. For everybody on Facebook only, you have to go under our page and leave them comments, them questions, especially for our special guests that we will be bringing onto the show very soon. YouTube, keep on doing your thing. Twitter, we see y'all. Bring them questions, comments, anything you want to talk about sports related, bring it onto the show so we can interact with each and every one of y'all. Do you recall that player from the G League who played for the Lakers like 2 seasons ago, like an older guy, Andre Ingram?
Yeah.
So it was.
He used to be a former principal.
Yeah. So check this out. He was recently selected as the new president of the G League's basketball players union. That's pretty cool, ain't it? I mean, for him to be able to live out his dream, he's been in the G League for like so many years.
Like 10 years or
yeah,
something.
and then being able to have a game or two and score, do his thing, and now being a president, like that's really pretty dope stuff right there.
Never too late to pursue your dreams, and you don't know what other doors open once you hit that dream, So
Yep.
shout out to him.
Yep. And then the last thing locally is, well, let me make sure that. Yep. So yesterday, it was word that the people from the XFL reached out to the people who holds down the dome, saying that, hey, just be aware. We want to make sure that the lease is still good for 2022. So that means we're going to be having some more caw. So yes.
It just never gets old, ever.
No. So
that's better than our hood call right now.
It is. Hey, back in the early 2000s, it was hooty hoo, all in the ones or whatever, or skirt, but now it's caw.
Man, it never get old. That Bella Hawks, man. Whoever thought of that, hey, shout out.
Yeah, so.
But no, that's good, though.
Yeah.
2022, keep that lease up good. It's going to be back. Hey, funny thing, when we talked to the Bella Hawks former president,
Kurt Hunziker.
Butcher his last name every time. And the next day, that's when Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson announced XFL is definitely gonna be back. And I'm like, he must have got a people this show or something.
You know what?
How did he know to comment on that? We just had an XFL president on our show.
Bunny, it happens every time. It doesn't matter if it's Cardinal related, if it's wrestling, if it's XFL, if it's water polo. Someone hears about our show, and like the very next day, whatever we talked about prior, it shows up in the headlines. It happens every time. So we know y'all watching. Once again,
appreciate it.
Thank you very much for tuning in. I'm your boy Smooth, along with
Bunny.
Later on, we will be having our hockey and baseball insider, Joe, on the show. She's already coming through with the comments. Once again, everybody share this stream right now. It's a special show for us. Without any further ado, this man here, you've seen the promos that he's been doing. He's an actor. He's a comedian. He's a producer. He's done some radio talk. And more importantly, he's from the Lou and he's proud. Representing, without any further ado, everyone, let's welcome in our special guest, Mr. Guy Torry. There he is.
Guy Torry in the place to be, got kicked out of Trump University. What up, y'all?
What up, though?
Coming with the freestyle. Keep on going, bro. Keep on going.
I know, right?
I only got one. I ain't got that many bars, man. I go to a lot of bars, but I ain't got that many bars.
Man, it is good to see you, man.
Pleasure to have you.
Good to be here. Good to be here. Hard act to follow, my big sister's on here last month. So That's some big shoes to fill, man. That's what's great about this show, man. I've been knowing her my whole life. And I didn't realize a lot of the stuff that she's accomplished and how just, celebrated she is in St. Louis, man. Because when it's your sibling, you see them at their work, waking up in the morning with eye boogers and everything. You don't think that they're legends. And to hear, I was proud. I ain't gonna lie, it's my big sis, but I was proud to hear the people who were texting in and stuff. So shows like this is important, man, to let people know and celebrate people and give people their flowers while they're still here. Yes. So thank you for having me on following my big sis, Roberta McWoods.
Yes.
Yeah, shout out to Coach McWoods. She was a phenomenal guest. Awesome lady.
She was. I watched the whole time, smoking a cigar, watching and tuning in. So it was fun. I couldn't wait to be on today.
All right. So what type of cigar was it? Was it a nice fruity sweet one or what? Like it was a real thick one that was like straightforward?
It's only gonna be 3 or 4 that I smoke. One's gonna be Liga number 9, or it's gonna be a Padron 64 anniversary, or it's gonna be the Entertainer Cedric cigar, the homie, or it's gonna be one of Roddy Hubbard's cigar, the homie, Keep It St. Louis, or it's gonna be a Elysian Bull, which is LFD. So those are my main go-tos right there. But I always try to keep up with the homies and smoke the Entertainer or Rodney Hubbard's joint.
So
when I joint cigar, you know what I mean.
So with that being said, is cigars like a true St. Louis thing? Like barbecue and fried rice. White Castle. Is cigars like a St. Louis thing to you? Because you just said Entertainer yourself.
It's only a true St. Louis thing if you're smoking Black and Milds, which I don't do. That's devil cigars.
That's a South St. Louis. Okay. Real cigars.
But I'm talking about real Cubans or Dominicans or Nicaraguans and those cigars. I mean, I've been smoking for a little bit, but said, kind of is known in the Lou for that. Mm-hmm. So it's not a known St. Louis thing, but it should be. I mean, there's a few places in St. Louis I come home and smoke and sip. Also Stanley's downtown, and it's another one in Florissant that I've been to a couple of times that I like to partake in the cigar. It's a different type of people. You know what I mean? I go to cigar lounges across the country, man, and it's just a different class of people that's in cigar lounges.
Hey, shouts out to Monterey's. They hold things down as well.
Yeah, that's it.
Great spot. And also, I want to go ahead and bring in the third member for the Platform Sports Talk Show. He just entered into the room. Everybody show some love to Stan. Stan, what's going on?
Oh, my God.
Whoa.
Hey.
He doesn't have a do-rag on.
He came straight from the buffet, look like.
He has a do-rag on, guys. So he must be trying to...
There we go already.
Hold on. Wait. No, I got a haircut. But if you want it, I'll go get it. Look, we ain't said nothing but
he always have a do-rag on, but it's Guy Torry, so he want to be extra proper now. Don't have nothing on his head. Boy.
No, you want the do-rag? Fine. I'm going to give you the do-rag.
I mean, nothing against Guy. Hey, Guy, you brought out the best of set. Look at you. Boy, I tell you.
I was chilling. Look, I just got a fresh cut. The waves was on display. He's like, no, forget your fresh cut.
He knew my mama was going to be watching. Mama's who was watching.
Mama Torry out there.
Look, you trying to get me in trouble with Mama. I'm coming back. I'm coming back. You trying to get me in trouble with
Mama Torry stand.
Oh, Lord. Got me going looking for do-rags and stuff, all the comebacks.
There he is. I'm surprised he don't have a red cup. There it is.
Now that's St. Louis.
That's St. Louis.
That's
right
so
right. So St. Louis.
That's so St. Louis.
That is so St. Louis. It, however, is not so Starbucks. So,
hey, don't mention them. If they ain't paying for advertisements,
Red Cup ain't paying for it either. So,
hey, Red Cup is universal though. He ain't brand new.
Unless you're a Crip. or Republican.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Now you're really getting something started.
Now you're getting somewhere. But real quick.
Fine, I removed it.
Hey, real
there
quick.
You go, man.
We have a few comments.
Exactly.
We have a few comments already. Joe says, I can't wait till she has her baby Bova so she can start having her cigars again.
That's right.
And then we have a comment. Someone says, Nicaragua cigars, where it's at. Oh, no, she said it. And then shouts out to Miss Roberta McWoods. Once again, great interview. Thank you very much for being on our show a few months ago. She says, I see you, Unc, but keep in mind, Mama Torry is watching too.
I know.
Okay, so that's her daughter who's on right now tuning in.
Oh, yeah, that's my niece, and they're all watching. They're all watching. It's probably on my niece's Bria's device, because Roberta is 80 years old, so she don't know how to work too many.
Don't do Miss like that.
Uh-oh.
She is not, no.
You know what? I got a phone call from her right now. No, I'm just playing.
I thought you were serious.
He's married.
We got a comment from Dwayne Foster, my esteemed, off the chain minister of music from my church. He says, Montrez as well in regards to the cigar
Montrez.
spot. Alice Williams says, hi, Stan. Then my boy Jonathan.
Alice Williams, how you doing?
My boy Jonathan says he came clean. I guess he's talking about maybe Stan, or you're talking about Guy Torry, or
I think he's talking about Guy Torry.
Okay.
Guy clean on this camera.
Hey, Guy got a hat. I like that Lakers hat though. That's how
Look, you know what it is?
Yeah.
Right now,
I'm in Miami still. I'm rubbing it in their face down here. I'm rubbing it in their face.
That's how you do it.
Oh,
That's how you do it. That's how you do it. Then we have a comment from Michaela Dartson. She says, hey, Guy, with a little kiss.
Hi, yeah. Doctor, she always on. We was hanging out in Dallas last week, man. Yeah, she smokes cigars too.
There it is. Okay. And actually, Stan, Jonathan talking about you.
He came clean.
Coming in clean.
Got that cut.
Oh, because without
okay.
the do-rag, I'm like, yeah, I just get cut up. Shout out my barber. Nice. Yeah, plug that in there.
Before I get started, I want to shout out my nephew, man. For his birthday. He's 25 today. He's the one who plays soccer.
Okay. Shout out to the
This is
soccer player.
Eric McWoods, real quick, man.
That's what's up.
That's him. That's him at age 6 or 7. But I thought it'd be funny to shout out my nephew today for his birthday. He's probably watching over in Malta right now.
You know
I know
what?
he's like, why don't you bring out that old 6-year-old picture on me? Why he could give me an up-to-date pic?
This is funny. Look how big his head is on there. He still hasn't grown into that head either. He got a 14-year-old head. He's 6.
I didn't say he was 6.
He looked like Marvin the Martian. From Bugs Bunny.
Right.
Oh,
I'm going to get you my X49 space modulator.
Oh my God.
Hey, Guy, I'm trying to decide who's taller right now, you or him on the picture.
Your mom.
Smooth.
Your mama laying down and I'm standing on her back. I'm real tall.
Hey.
Oh my God.
Interview yet too early.
And nobody tells
Louis,
Smooth the number one rule with comedians.
I know.
Look, at St. Louis comedians at that.
St. Louis, period. There's a lot of cats who don't do comedy in St. Louis who got them jokes. That's how we get it from. The Lou got some of the funniest cats that's not doing stand-up in the city.
And especially, like you said, now, because it seems like this society is really highly sensitive. Do you agree with that?
Man, and they on cancel culture if you say something wrong one time.
Joe, I'm sorry. Say it again, buddy.
I said it seems like it's cancel culture. If you say something wrong in a comedy skit or anything on stage, cancel. It's like, whoa, wait a minute. Y'all can't we can't have jokes. Yeah,
we live in a society now where I think people are extra sensitive. And sometimes I think, and I'm gonna get some pushback from this, but I am. Sometimes I think black people we're too knee-jerk. Sometimes we're too sensitive. Sometimes we're too quick to react to things without digging deep into what something really means, even if it's serious or not. But I think we are raising. I mean, I know you can't go around bullying people. I understand that, and that's different. But I think we do live in a sensitive society now where they try to cancel you real quick, and it's like, come on. Right. And we try to cancel each other, which is terrible. We already got the world against us. And now we're against ourselves as well. Like everybody was quick to jump in on Ice Cube without really hearing what he was really trying to say, And at first I said, let me do some research on my own. And after I read a bunch of articles and listened to a bunch of interviews, I saw what he was trying to say. But we were so quick to cancel people that we just read the tea leaves and just want to be the first one to tweet it or first one to post it. So like I did it first without really getting the facts, and you need to get the facts.
And Stan, I know that in the past when you was doing open mics and everything, that you would add a few comedy as well. How do you feel about saying a certain comedy piece, or do you have this mindset like maybe I should not say that because they make it too sensitive, or do you just go ahead and say, you know what, F it, I'm gonna go ahead and do it anyway?
Well, I think the only time that I have pushed the envelope with a joke at an open mic was a Chris Brown joke about 2 years ago, and it went over well. So there have been comics who come up to our open mic and they push the envelope, and sometimes it's well received, and other times we gotta sound the alarm and pray to God for the Sandman to come out. So
Well, but here's the thing with stand up. I mean, I think if you first of all, funny is funny, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Funny is funny. And comedy is subjective. Some people gonna love it, some people not. But if you establish your point of view up front and you establish why you're saying the thing you're saying, I don't have to agree with it. But if you establish why you're saying that, then it's more palatable. Then you can receive it a little bit more than just saying something just to get shock value. Why are you saying that? Why do you think like that? And if you establish that point of view, then even if someone don't agree with it, it can be funny and they may not cancel you because they haven't walked in your shoes. But a lot of people just want to go straight for the line that may get, that may go viral without qualifying it with why you're saying the things that you're saying.
Mm-hmm. We have a few comments. Bria, Miss McWoods' daughter, was saying that because this is my mom's account, Uncle Guy, we will revisit this at a later date. Then Joe says, it's not even comedy. Just in everyday life, you have to watch what you say because people are so sensitive nowadays. Now, also T-Bone Funk. He's a former professional wrestler. T-Bone, yeah, he's back. He says people need to look beyond the surface and also look at context.
Right. Facts. Yeah. Facts. And that's what we don't have enough of these days. And the strange thing about it is, in today's world, with all the technology we have at our hands, you can check the facts. Back in the day, when you didn't have these, I had to go to the library and get that micro film or whatever, or encyclopedias at the house, and Britannica, and look up facts. Now you just got it right here. You can go from YouPorn to find facts like that.
Oh dang! I think Guy Torry just leaked his porn website of choice. Oh damn!
You know what?
Ask his camera. Why his camera dirty? Ask him. Why you talking about porn?
Hey, since this COVID, I gave it up, but now since the church is closed, I've been porn again.
Oh Lord! hey. So with that being said, what's your thoughts on OnlyFans?
Hey man, look, I'm funny. I ain't got to pay to see any of that.
Exactly.
I don't need no sites to be on, no dating sites.
Right.
Look, all you gotta do is be funny. Women love to laugh. If you funny, you ain't gonna worry about them OnlyFans pages and paying for it directly anyway.
Right.
But you take them out to dinner, to do all that stuff. You're paying for it. But I mean,
like, to go long in a relationship, we gonna want that Christmas gift, birthday, Valentine's, and all them holidays in it too.
Now you going before Christmas. You going before Black Friday. You going before Thanksgiving.
I was just about to say you going before Thanksgiving. You can't use the family now.
I can't get one holiday.
Because if you try to come through with a dish and it's trash, that
I'm gonna let you dish all that though.
Come on.
Yeah, and then
dish all that.
Good.
Like,
Then you good. You make it.
If that you a booger, you really ain't coming around the family. So.
Oh, well, that's sum that up.
All right, y'all. So once again, this is the Platform Sports Talk Show. We have a great show. As you can see, we already getting into it. Stan, why don't you go ahead and do the honor of asking Guy Torry our very first question we all like to ask our guests. Official first question.
The official first question. Mr. Torry, first of all, let me say it is an honor to have you on our show. I remember back being a young child headed to elementary school, and my mother had it on 104.9 to the Tony Scott Morning Show, back all the way, way back. Yeah, I used to be in my classes singing songs that ain't nobody else know. Why? Because I was listening to them at 7:35 in the morning. But you know, that is neither here nor there. So, Mr. Torry, our first question that we like to ask all of our guests: when did you first establish your love for sports?
You know what? I think it had to be when I was really young, man. I was a St. Louis football Cardinal fan and a baseball Cardinal fan too. It's funny because back then, because we had the baseball Cardinals and the football Cardinals, I thought that was normal. Like colleges, they all the same mascot and everything. I'm like, who the Blues? Where the Blues? Where the Blues come from? They would be the Cardinals too. But it was that, man. I used to watch, you know, Jim Hart and Stump Mitchell and O.J. Anderson and Pat Tilley and Conrad Dobler and not Dick Buckets, but Roger Worley and all those guys playing football. I was a football fan. Remember the little? Some of y'all probably too young to remember the football game with the little men, and you got the boy vibrate. And I used to paint my own. I used to paint my team because it came all red or all yellow or whatever color. And I used to paint my Cardinals colors. I used to go to the store and get the little crafty paint and paint the St. Louis Cardinals because I couldn't afford, you know, the real ones. So I had to paint them myself, man. But I think it was at a very young age, man. It's the football Cardinals and the baseball Cardinals. And then at 10 years old, it was, you know, the Lakers, man, because of Magic Johnson.
Yeah, so you talking about the Big Red, and you had Dan Dierdorf and all them, right, Guy?
Yeah, man. I remember Roy Green, man. He played offense, defense, and special teams, man. He came in with number 25, and then when he went strictly receiver, he changed to number 81. So I remember that, man. And O.J. Anderson and Theodis Brown, you know. Then Neil Lomax came in. I was a big sports fan. Still a big sports fan. And I'm a homer, too. I root for all the St. Louis teams still.
So our guest last week, shouts out to Karen Steger. She mentioned that her dad, you know, watched a lot of St. Louis Cardinal games, the football Cardinals. So do you recall yourself going to those games back in the day at Busch Stadium?
I went to one. We grew up poor, man. And you're not poor, but we didn't have that luxury. I won't say poor.
You ain't the only one.
You know, so, you know, my mom was the bomb and raising us, and then my dad as well, man. But they made sure we had the staples. They made sure we had what it was to raise a family. All the extra stuff we had to get later, but that's how you're supposed to raise a family. You know, we had neighbors who didn't have the staples, who had all the extra stuff, and they come over and borrow stuff from us. So I shout out to my parents, man, for just doing the right thing all the time. But yeah, I only went to one probably. I went to a lot of baseball games because I was a Cub Scout. My mom was a gym mother, so we would go to a lot of the Blues games or a lot of the baseball games with the Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts.
Free tickets, all the time.
Yeah, free tickets.
That and playing Little League. Actually, during my time in the Jewish League,
oh Lord.
But no, that's how look.
I know that's in the Little League, but that's okay. I guess once upon a time.
Oh, here you go.
It was right there. It was right there.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, my gosh.
So, Guy, I asked Karen last week if she could recall how her dad felt when the Cardinals left town to go to Arizona, and she really couldn't recall that. So, can you recall that moment and how you felt at that time when they were leaving to go to Arizona?
I was hurt. I was hurt when they left, man, because I was, like I said, I was a Cardinal fan, and I couldn't wait, you know, not knowing I was going to move this, you know, to L.A., but at that time, I couldn't wait to be old enough or make enough money on my own to go to games, you know, at Busch Stadium, on that terrible turf that they played on. Mm-hmm. But I was hurt. And I rode with them for a minute. I had the little Arizona Cardinals license plate frame, man. I was trying to hold on to them, man, but then once I moved to L.A., I just felt like, you know what? I really didn't have a team after that. You know, I kind of kept my eye on them, but they were never good. I wasn't a Raider fan. You know, my brothers were Raider fans, Ramon and Joe, they were Raider fans. I wasn't really into the Rams until they actually went to St. Louis. So when they got to St. Louis, is when I started rooting for the Rams.
Okay.
But I was out of team for a while.
And you brought up the baseball Cardinals. Who did you follow the most during those times?
Man, Lou Brock and then Ozzie Smith, man. Ozzie Smith, Willie McGee,
brothers.
Silent George, Joaquin Andujar, Tommy Hurt. I mean, the Smith brother. Well, you had Lonnie Smith and you had Ozzie Smith. They weren't brothers, but we called them the Smith brothers. Vince Coleman was cold on them bases, man.
Yeah.
You know, still on the bases, man. And Silent George used to wear his pants all the way down to the ankle and had that Fu Manchu, man.
Yeah.
You know, and Joaquin Andujar was a hell of a pitcher, but Bob Forsch. You know, let's not forget Darryl Porter, the catcher.
Right.
I mean, I was heavily into those sports, man.
Yeah, that was doing that fun time of Whitey ball right there.
Whitey ball. Whitey ball, man. That's what we had a team that was fat. You couldn't blink, they were stealing bases.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Missed them days.
Willie
That's a
McGee was
lost
my
art.
guy
It's
too.
a lost art right now. In baseball, you don't get it as much, especially teams that manufacture runs, stealing bases.
Right. You don't get that. You don't get those minds in baseball. I mean, you still got some great ball minds out there as far as managers. But Whitey Herzog was one of the greatest, man.
Yeah. Most definitely.
I remember when Gary Templeton. I think I still got the newspaper when Gary Templeton, flipped the city off when they shipped him to San Diego, and that's how we got Ozzie Smith.
Right. So did. Thank you, Gary.
Royce Clayton. Shout out to Royce Clayton.
Hey.
I remember second
when,
baseman or shortstop.
Who was that, Bunny?
Royce Clayton. That what position?
Shortstop.
He was shortstop. Kind of like
Shortstop.
I don't like how they did Ozzie with Royce came. It wasn't Royce's fault. It was Turner LaRussa who kind of like kind of played him a little bit.
Yeah.
He did to me from what I
He
read.
did. He did. He shaded him. He shaded the legend.
And that's
Ozzie
why
Smith.
Ozzie wasn't full with the organization until after he left, and now you see him run all the time again.
Right. Now it's all good.
Yeah.
Hey, Stan, do you recall U City native Bernard Gilkey?
Yeah, Bernard Gilkey, yeah. Bernard
Do
Gilkey.
I? No, but I probably recall some of his cousins.
He said, "Do I?" No.
No, Gilkey, man. My sister Roberta is friends with his sisters, man. His family, man, good family.
Yeah.
Bernard Gilkey, man, was yeah, man. He was a hell of a player himself, man. Brian Jordan. I remember Brian Jordan.
Yeah. He don't get enough love to me for the Cardinals. I'm not understanding why he hasn't been given a red jacket to be in our Cardinals Hall of Fame.
Because he hasn't done enough like Langford did to get that recognition.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
I'm gonna tell you this. I know when I started watching Cardinals for real was when our outfield was black. Eric Davis, Brian Jordan.
AD, that's my boy.
Who's the other one out there? I'm missing somebody. We had a black outfield, and I was like,
it was Ryan Gant.
Let's not forget Kerry Robinson.
Ryan Gant. Yep.
Let's not forget Kerry Robinson too.
Kerry Robinson.
Yep.
I was like, look, but that was the Cardinals that had some black players. That was seemed so long ago.
Right.
That was kind of was that pre LaRussa?
Yep. That was no, you know what? Now I think about
This is
it.
how bad it was.
It sure
This
was.
is how bad it was.
Yep, sure was.
I was in LA, right? And I'm driving, listening to morning radio. And comedian Jay Moore, white dude, y'all know Jay Moore, was doing a local state. He was doing the Steve Harvey morning show in LA. And he was playing out in Orange County, which is white. And he was saying, he got some few black followers and stuff. He's like, hey, I'm probably the only one in LA that got this reference. But he said, hey, Steve, I want some more black faces at my shows. It's all white, man. Y'all come out here and listen to me. I need more black people. It looked like the Cardinals dugout.
Oh
Man, I almost crashed. I almost crashed when I heard that because I got it. And real sports fans got it. This is LA, and he's talking about the St. Louis Cardinals dugout during the LaRussa years, man. I was like, wow.
Hey, you know what?
That was like inside joke, like a Lou Brock pitch. Inside.
You know what? It's pretty cool how you brought that up.
Bob Gibson.
It's cool how you brought that up because we're gonna be touching on a subject similar to that about black players and the Cardinals later on throughout the show. So stay tuned for that because it's a few things I heard recently over the last couple of days that I know, Stan, you heard me say this 2 weeks ago, but we're gonna definitely address this more, especially with Guy on the show. But Guy, Now we got to talk about your days as an athlete. What was the very first sport that you played as a youngster?
I mean, I think the first class played not organized or just regular was football. Street football. Okay. And then and in the hood, we played crate basketball, take the milk crates. Right. You know what I'm saying? Hit that milk crate up on a pole. Yep. We had full court milk crates. But in high school, I wrestled, I played football, I ran track, and I played basketball, and I was in the band. But I first played organized sports. In grade school, I played basketball at St. Martin de Porres, which is a Catholic school that was on the west side. So we played. I played there, my first organized team, and I was pretty good. And then going to high school, just following my older brothers and sisters' footsteps. I was too little in the beginning years to play football. My dad didn't, thought I was too little, but my mom had to talk him and beg him into let me play football for Southwest. And even though I didn't go there, I went to one semester and I transferred to Visual Performing Arts. But because Southwest was in my busing district, I had to play for the team I would have been going to. Mm-hmm. So I played football for Southwest. I wrestled for Southwest. I played basketball and ran track for Visual Performing Arts High School. So I was pretty active and, following Roberta's footsteps, running track, made it to the state meet a few times. I was following my brother Ramon's and Joe's footsteps, playing football, was pretty damn good at football. I had a couple of scholarship offers. And wrestling, Joe wrestled. So, I wrestled as well and just did all those sports.
Mm. So who you say?
Football was in football, high school, man, played at Southwest High School, man. And, man, we played against Trent Green in high school.
Oh, wow.
We played out in the county, played against Trent Green. And then we had, I played against people like, Tony Van Zandt, ran track against Tony Van Zandt and ran track against Rick Stovall and all them and other football greats that was in St. Louis, Albert Thomas, who was football and basketball, who was Ron Porter, who ran track and played football for Sumner. Them cats was like bomb, man.
Mm. Okay, so all 4 years you went to Central Performance and Arts?
No, I went to Southwest one semester.
Okay.
And then I transferred. I got tired of being Little Joe. Like everywhere I would go, Joe and I went to the same high school, same grade school, and Joe was so mischievous, he left an impression on the teachers. And he pissed them off so much, they see my face and just think I'm Joe. And then, so I got tired of being mistaken for Joe. Then I went to the same high school, Southwest High School. And Joe was so good in sports there, in wrestling, but he's also, known. He was known at the school. So I got tired of being Little Joe. So I went to Visual Performing Arts to kind of make my own mark and create my own legend, my own brand. Mm. And that's how that came about. But yeah, I went there for 3.5 years of Visual Performing Arts. But played football for Southwest the 3 years that I was in high school at VAC.
You're an all-around athlete. You did everything except soccer by high school?
No, I played soccer. I played soccer one time in gym class. Somebody kicked me in the shin, and I was like, man, fuck this. I was too short to play goalie. And I got kicked in the shin because we went to a city school. And they didn't have shin guards for us, man.
Right.
Yeah, guys with newspaper taped around their damn shins.
Y'all had newspaper. We had jeans. Like, your jeans are cushioning. Nope, no, didn't.
We came up way behind me, man. But no, man, I got kicked in the shin. Same reason why I didn't do hurdles. Man, I ran track. And man, I saw people get taking L's in them hurdles, man. I was like, man, I ain't doing no damn hurdles.
Don't have your face fall on the ground like that. Mm-mm.
Exactly. No, I just stuck to the 100, 200, 400.
Man. So who would you say was the most premium athlete of all the Torrys?
Me, of course. Other than me? Okay. I mean, Roberta is the only one who did it on a higher level, going to Missouri and running collegiately. That's major. But I definitely was a better athlete all the way around out of any of the Torrys or McWoods or anything you want to call them. I'm definitely the better athlete.
Did you have any high school records for any of the sports you did?
Man, I had single game records at Southwest High School. I played running back, wing back, played defensive back. I played both sides of the ball. Okay. And yeah, Yes. 7 carries, 130 yards against a couple of schools, things like that. Interceptions, only touchdown of the game. So I was pretty nice.
We have some comments from Roberta. Now, this time it's her. She says, in bold letters, it was me.
Was a better athlete. That's what she said.
She's such a narcissist.
Don't do Miss McWoods like that.
You only played one sport. She only ran track. That was it. I ran track. I played football and started on all of them. Ran track, played football, played basketball. I didn't start in basketball though, but I played a lot. I didn't ride the bench, and I wrestled, and I was in the band, and was good and was exceptional at all of them. All of them. So I think I would be the all-around athlete. Sometimes I scored a touchdown, right? A 90-yard touchdown. And because I was in the band, I had to go up in the stands and drop the trunk and do my own and then get back for kickoff coverage. I wouldn't know at the point.
To play for his own touchdown to get back on the field.
Yeah.
They had your instrument at the sideline. Give it here.
Oh,
yeah.
Lord.
Okay, I gotta go.
Heck no. Shout out to Beth though. Beth did have a good band though. Even when I was in high school, they had a good band.
And we had a great track team. Anthony Pearson was on our track team, man. He's one of the coaches in the city, man. He used to give, Rick Stovall from Berkeley. Berkeley used to scare us. Berkeley used to scare us at track meets because they used to have Berkeley men's track on the back of their jacket. We in high school, we had VAT boys track or VAT girls track or Southwest boys. Berkeley came in there with Berkeley men's track. Those are men.
Oh, man.
Yo.
And the way how you talking about how Berkeley was when we was at track meets, when the East St. Louis came over to our PHL meets, we was like, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Hey, East St. Louis.
They whooped
East
every
St. Louis
PHL school.
Been like that. We played East St. Louis one time in football when I was at Southwest. This was my sophomore year. I didn't play my freshman year. This is my sophomore year. And nobody has scored on East St. Louis offensive touchdown in so many games, right? I'm talking for point of reference. This is like 87, 80. I'm sorry, that back. This is like 83, 80, 84, 85, right? So we scored a long bomb, an 85-yard bomb on East St. Louis. And they were pissed. And they wanted to fight. They beat us. They whooped our ass. But they wanted to beat us up after the game. And my dad, rest in peace, who was 80 when he passed away, this is a point of reference for school. When he played at Sumner, right? Sumner High School, right? He played with, he ran track with Dick Gregory and Ron Gregory and all them, the legends. He said East St. Louis, when they went to East St. Louis to play, they were chasing back across the bridge. This is back in them times,
right.
Like the 60s, like are you on the 50s, So it's like East St. Louis has had that reputation forever. But they, they produce.
They got some good athletes. They breed good athletes. I mean, St. Louis does too, but Lincoln.
I mean, the athletes be like 27 in high school, but they still good athletes. They freshmen in high school be having child support payments, be having full. Hey, some of them players are too old, man. I ain't gonna lie. They come with full beards. We like, smoking cigarettes on the sideline. He said,
cigarettes.
It was like the longest yard. They were like prisoners, with full beers and cigarettes or cigars on the sideline.
Hey, the whole O-line, smoking some Newports.
Smoking a pack of Newport Short 100s.
I got tackled one time, and I was under the pile. And East St. Louis was like, hey, want to buy some weed? This is during the game.
Oh, no.
You want to buy some weed? That's what it had. $5 bag back there. I got that nickel bag.
Oh, man, hilarious. A few comments.
God.
We got a few comments here from your sister. She says, oh, please, he ain't got no records. Then she says,
I got the OJs. I got some Richard Pryor records. I got.
Records are records.
Then she says, help athlete. That is 7 events. Can you name 7 different events that you did, sports that you played?
Basketball, football, I ran track, I wrestled. That was it, 4.
Okay, all right. Then T-Bone Funk says that he also wrestled when he was in high school and was in the band. So he finally has someone who can understand him.
My man.
Okay.
My man.
Now,
can you imagine wrestling and then you got to get up and play your instrument? You out of breath.
Now if you're good, you pin him quick.
Pin him fast. I'm about to say, yeah.
he got the elbow. He got the elbow out.
That elbow.
The elbow down. All right, instrument. Let's go.
Man. Now.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
All right, guys.
I remember I wrestled one time against. I mean, we had to wrestle. I think we wrestled CBC, and I had a deaf dude.
Oh Lord.
On there.
Oh God.
And dude, first of all, you know when you missing one of your senses,
what you gonna say?
You look at the number. This little motherfucker was strong. This little white boy was strong as fuck, but he was deaf, right? And I'm wrestling him, and went off the mat, and the ref was like blowing the whistle, and he's still going on. So I forgot he was deaf, but I gave one of these in the back of the head, like, hey man, just stop. And they're like, oh, he deaf. I'm like, oh, that's right. You gotta. Hey, I'm telling you one thing.
All right, so we have another comment from a guy that you may know very well. He says, I really thought your love for sports started after you saw So Dance Great Richie Williams come through your front door to take Bert to her senior prom. LOL.
Richie Williams, I used to have a crush on his little sister, man. Yeah, Mary, yeah. Yeah.
He's still thinking about it too, dang.
Yeah.
You got.
Yeah, Richie was my sister's watching, my mama watching, so I'll keep it clean. If I was on stage, it'd be something different. I don't respect it. Richie was, it took my sister to prom. He was an athlete. And let's not get it twisted. My older siblings were great athletes. Roberta was definitely the premier athlete in the family as far as one sport. But Ramon played football. He was really good. Joe went to state in wrestling. Joe played football. Then he played. He also played semi-pro football too. The Metro East Stars, I believe, and was pretty good with them too. So we come from a long line of athletes in the family. But I will say, between Joe, myself, and Roberta, we were the top 3.
Nice. Very, very talented family. T-Bone says, full beards was my same thought when we went over there in high school. They tried to confront us.
Yeah.
They tried to confront us at the bus after the match over there.
Sound like right. East side, Lincoln High both.
Let me tell you something. East St. Louis is just a different breed. I'll never forget. It was my junior year of high school. My cousin's football team from Maryland came all the way to East St. Louis just to get their ass whooped. And what's sad is everybody in the crowd knew it. And they were like, y'all came over here just to get your ass whooped. And then it was like halftime. It was 42 to something. It wasn't double digits yet. It was bad.
Oh,
and
wow.
they were like, y'all can come over and sit over here. And I'm like, look, cousin, I love you, but you embarrassing the family name. I'm finna go sit with these people. Like, my cousin was sticking up the place. Like, it was bad. And
let's not forget Brian Cox.
Yeah.
Played over East St. Louis too, who's a beast. But they had beards like you, Smooth. Their beard was like yours, like already gray. They freshmen and sophomores.
They supposed to be high schoolers. Okay.
Yeah.
you had D1 college
Now they
freshmen.
tatted up at
juniors
like
in high school.
15, looking like they 20.
Yeah. Selling weed at the end of the pile.
Hey, Bunny, I'm checking out your background, your backdrop. I see a trophy back there. Is that your trophy?
The little one lonely ass trophy. That trophy lonely as hell. I need some company.
I wish I could take the credit for it because I didn't have any trophies. All I earned were medals. I ran cross country and track in high school. So
Okay, endurance.
What kind of trophy is that?
That is basketball.
Okay.
There it is.
Yeah, stepson's basketball.
So what does it say? Because nowadays they get participation trophies.
Oh no, he don't come for the look.
Okay.
He's initially from the East Side area as well. We don't grow up like you get an A for effort. You get a
that's the bullshit. No. Rating kids terrible these days.
You get take your L's.
You go 0-19, you get a trophy. You don't get no damn trophy.
Right.
You take your L's. Just take them. And
that's so soft.
Back out there.
It is, and that's all. I'm about to say it's all a part of this sensitive culture. Like you had to just do whatever you got to do to please people and make them smile.
Everybody's a winner type stuff. Nah, because the real world don't work like that.
No, they're not. No, everybody's a winner. It was 67-3. Everybody is not a winner. Somebody had to lose.
Let me tell you something.
It was your son.
I played basketball at VAC, right? Visual Performing Arts. We was a 3A school, right? We played Sumner one time, first game of the season back, and this is the 86-87 season. Our center was the size of their guard. Shout out to my man, my homie, Tyrone Freisen, who played in that team with me, Class 87. Now he's a big executive with ESPN in LA. But we played, and Sumner beat us twice in one game. The score was 129-27.
What?
Let me say it again. We lost twice in one game. We were 0-2 after the first game. They beat us 129-27. So first they beat us by 2 points. They beat us by a whole nother 100 points. I mean, Albert Thomas was on that team, man. I mean, they were dunking. And then our cheerleaders, we down by 90 already, right? And our cheerleaders on the sideline, oh, no sweat, this game ain't over yet. It's fourth quarter. Oh, no sweat, this game ain't over yet. And our coach looked over and was like, shut up.
It's been over. Hey, I give you a little happy point, though. Fast forward 12, 13 years later, VAP actually did a phenomenal upset win over Vashon High School.
Oh, here you go.
I heard about that.
Here you go.
Who happened to be part of that Vashon team that took that L?
Yes. Matter of fact, somebody need to call B. Baker. Somebody let him talk about it.
Thank you for that little tidbit. That little nugget.
Hey, you know what? I always say this from White Men Can't Jump. Sometimes the sun shines on the dog's ass.
Damn.
Normandy lost. Look. Oh, okay.
We had a good track team. Our basketball team was trash.
Hey, go ahead, stand and read that.
Comments? Okay. All right. So, your sister Roberta, at first she said facts, and then T-Bone said that Normandy lost 90-0, which unfortunately to Riverview in football. I don't know when that was.
I can understand.
2001.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Naturally, I don't like Normandy. I tolerate them for Sadal's sake, but no.
You don't like Normandy.
Wow.
They had some rough ones too. Normandy, yeah, it's a little rough too.
But Normandy
every time.
They never win. They used to never win their own. They put on the best basketball tournament in the city, and had some of the baddest broads. They would never win home. Huh? People went for the women. We went to the.
Hey, you ain't talking about they had the best players out there. The best people said no. All about the women.
We went for the broads.
You sound like my daddy. Oh my God.
I'm probably your daddy age. I'm surprised you know your daddy. But anyway.
Actually, older than you. Actually, no. My daddy older than you. But nah.
Let me turn my phone off.
He's 70.
Have mercy.
But no, man. They had some great Christmas tournaments, but they just never won them. But they had a good track team. They had Ramona Spencer, the girls' track team. And I think Stacy Torry was on the men's track team. They had some good track team, but the basketball team was always trash.
T-Bone Funk says, "Hey man, we not bad."
Hey, all I'm saying is every time y'all came to U City, y'all always left with an L, and then y'all always tried to fight.
But the L was a lady, because y'all had ladies too. Y'all had some bras.
Oh yes, sir.
Yeah. That's the L we left with. We used to come from the city and take y'all girls at U City.
I
mean, I can't be mad at it. U City, as he just inadvertently admitted is the Mecca of St. Louis. It's okay. Everybody wanted to be there. Look, had brothers from VAP coming all the way down 40 to 170 just to get the girl. Look, come on now.
I used to go to Continue Ed and pick up chicks because if they in Continue Ed, you know they at least go sleep with you.
Oh, no, we can't laugh at that.
You know they had them 10 toes in the air and Continue Ed.
Really?
Oh man!
Oh my goodness!
So
man,
look, don't continue with girls like that.
All right, so
I ain't gonna lie. If I had $1 for every time I heard a girl, she came back, she didn't continue it. Okay, all right, yeah.
So we got.
Look, when I first heard it, I thought they were pronouncing the word "continued" wrong. I was like, oh yeah, they need to be, because y'all can't talk. Like, y'all need some help. I was like, oh, this is post. Okay, I ain't never have to worry about that. Not.
We got a comment.
In high school, shoot.
Got a comment from Alice Williams. She said, "This is definitely one of the most entertaining shows that I've hosted." Thank you very much, Alice. Appreciate that. The Platform Sports Talk Show, your Wednesday night sports delight. I am your boy Smooth, along with
Stan, baby,
and it's Bunny.
And special guest right now in Miami, we have
boom, Guy Torry in the place to be.
Guy Torry up here on the Platform Sports Talk Show. T-Bone says, we rarely went to U City because of beef, but I lived in U City growing up.
Beef, pork, chicken, ham. We had all the issues. Okay, it was never good. It was always a fight. We would hear about the fights in elementary school when they would happen in high school. So Normandy came and fight. We heard about it way back. You said what, Bunny?
Who was beefing with y'all though? I mean, shit, I know stuff.
No, it was Normandy, but they always tried every year to be like, you know what, we can do it this year. Them kids ain't graduate yet. They just sophomores now trying to fight. Last year they were freshmen, now they sophomores. Well, some of them were repeat freshmen. We're not gonna go there.
5 years
anyway,
freshman.
They were always trying to fight. And look, my senior year, it got so bad. They were fighting on the ice. I ain't never seen somebody get their ass beat by hands and the elements. Normandy was just not looking good
I
as
thought
a
that
unit.
the hockey team. I was like, okay, that ice. You see the hockey team?
No, you city? No, look, we barely got a swim team. I'm like, I went to one swim meet. I was like, it was.
What was you there for, the ladies? So what you at a swim meet for? We know you weren't.
Man, look, let me tell you something. I was trying to overcome that black stereotype and learn how to swim. It did not work. It didn't work. I tried to put myself in a sink or swim situation, and I sank.
You can't swim, bro?
Huh?
You can't swim?
Still too long, so you know the answer. Still too long. Quit the stuttering. Just say no.
Hey,
Bunny. Just say it.
Hey, Bunny, we should have had.
Add me in that number.
Hey, we should have had.
I can't swim either. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh Lord.
Hey, adding on to the stereotype.
Hey, look, hey, Bunny, we should have had Stan and Guy on last week with Karen Steger.
I know, right? Because she was up in the roof.
Every place I've lived in Los Angeles for the last 28 years, I've had a swimming pool in the place, can't swim a lick. I live by the ocean. Well, in a city by the ocean. I live downtown LA. Can't swim. I taught somebody else how to swim, and I can't swim myself.
And Alice Williams says she can't either. Then Roberta McWoods says, "Tell them about Pearl Harbor and your swim scene."
Oh man. So listen to this story. It's kind of gross. So if you're eating right now, you may want to turn this off or just mute it for right now and come back. So I'm in the movie Pearl Harbor, and there's a scene in Pearl Harbor where the Arizona gets bombed, and the soldiers are floating underwater, and you see the American flag and all that stuff. So originally, Michael Bay, who directed it, thought I was going to be in that scene. So they had us go take scuba lessons because they shot the movie. We shot these particular scenes in Mexico. In Mexico, they have this big old tank where they shot Titanic and all those movies where it's on the sea and war. They shot it in this big old tank. And what they do is they have this big old machine, and they put a replica of the ship on the machine, and as it's going down or whatever, it's turning. So they thought I was going to be in that scene with the soldiers floating in the flag. So they had us go do scuba training, and
Oh, Lord, what are you gonna say?
so I had to go scuba training, and I had the scuba suit on. I don't know if you ever put on a scuba suit, but it is tight.
No.
You can only access it from the back, right? So I don't know what made me drink a lot the night before, but I was kind of like hungover, right? So I get in the pool at the Warner Brothers lot, and this scuba instructor's teaching me how to scuba dive. And the little dude came out with a cart with some muffins on it, some brand muffins.
No.
I was hungover. Okay. I had this scuba suit on.
I can't hear this story. I don't know exactly what this is doing.
And the pool was maybe about, you had to drive to the bathroom. You couldn't walk. You had to drive. So I got in the pool, and the scuba and the guts start bubbling. Right? And it bloop, bloop, and I'm like, oh, I gotta go. You know the rule, especially in the hood, you don't want to go in the pool. You don't go in the pool. So I was like, yo, where the bathroom at? He said, oh, you gotta drive to it. It's about a 3-minute drive. I'm like, oh.
God.
So now I got the scuba suit on, and I didn't think about telling him to let it loose, so I can like take it out. Man, I had to go. I found that bathroom. Let's just say I didn't make it.
Oh, God.
Oh, no bueno.
I didn't make it.
A shitty mess right there.
I didn't make it. Because I was trying to, and it was.
A shitty mess.
Yeah, I didn't make it. And then I went back. I washed the suit up as best as I could. And But yeah. Thanks to Roberta for bringing up my shitty past.
That is that's all bad.
Oh, Joe. Well, that might be pregnancy stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So
the moral of the story is, don't eat brand muffins before you get in the pool with a scuba suit.
Right. And also,
right, huh?
Don't also be tipsy or drunk or hungover from the night before either.
Man, yeah, it was a Wednesday morning, and I had my Fat Tuesdays the night before. So when I'm hosting the show, and it was pretty, she's situation.
So we talked about your high school years. What college did you go to?
I went to Southeast Missouri State University.
Hey.
I didn't finish Southeast Missouri State University, but I went to Southeast Missouri State.
I ain't even go there. I just know people that went there. Like, hey.
That didn't end well either.
Oh, you got kicked out. Just say it.
Got kicked out. I was fighting a lot too,
You fighting in college? Like.
Yeah, I stole on my first cop, police officer, when I was there. Bam! Straight to the face. But I know
the fact that he said first.
I shouldn't be brag about hitting a cop, but it felt pretty goddamn good.
You said first cop, so that means it happened again.
Exactly, it happened again. The second time,
I done called a lot of cops out before.
Damn.
All the time. I mean, not nothing to be proud of. It's really stupid, but anyway, yeah, it was. I blame on the Qs and the Sigmas.
Oh, I put it on the frat. You put it on the frat. For real?
And they got into a fight in the UC in the student center, and there was only one Q in the yard, but some Qs from Carbondale, Illinois, come down, and they got to fight with the Sigmas, and somebody grabbed me from behind. I didn't know it was a cop. I just turned around and swung. When I turned around, if you were slow mode, it'd have been like this. And my fist kept going, and I was like, no. And bow, his jaw flipped. Before I had the game.
All right, so
my mom listening too. Damn it.
So look, Stan said. Now he said his first cop. So how many cops did you beat up?
Hey, man,
like the first cop was a minute.
Allegedly,
Allegedly.
I don't want to
Hey, that's the key word. It is all alleged. There's no proof.
Yeah, allegedly.
Well, if it ain't no record on it, then I guess you can't prove it, right?
Right?
Or video.
Ah.
Ain't no witnesses.
Sorry, Ma, but you didn't raise no punks, Ma.
Mama Torry, don't be mad at him.
It's like, what do you do in that moment? It's like, yeah, your kids were fighting, but at the same time, at least they were fighting. Like, you know, they ain't get beat up. It's like, are you mad? But are you, like, happy? It's like,
look, we didn't have Black Lives Matter organized back then, so thank God you a lot of time.
Black Lives Matter ain't organized now.
Oh boy.
Oh my God.
And our viewers just dropped out. No, I'm just playing.
And there they go.
No,
yeah.
with Black Lives Matter. I'm sick of Black Lives Matter, right? I'm sick of it. Not that I'm sick of it. I'm sick of explaining it to people. If you don't understand what it means now, you really don't want to understand. Mm-hmm. And this is how I explain Black Lives Matter to people. There's 206 bones in the human body, right? If I break my arm and I go to the doctor, they're going to focus on my arm. Doesn't mean the other 205 bones don't matter. It means right now, my arm is broken. This is the one that needs attention. And that's what Black people are trying to say. We're broken right now. We're not saying the other bones don't matter. What we're saying is right now, this is the one that needs attention because we're getting shot. You know, unarmed Black men and women are getting shot for no reason. Thanks. So we need to fix this arm. But people who don't want to get it, don't want to get it.
Right.
Those are the ones who keep screaming, Black, all lives matter. We ain't saying that. Right. We're saying we matter too. Pay attention to these lives. And I get into discussions all the time, especially in LA. I got a lot of friends who are police officers. And in the cigar lounge, we have dialogue about what's going on. Mm-hmm. And these are Black and brown police officers. And I mean, we get into heated debates to the point where
throwing hands.
I may have to visit what I did in college. So it gets that heated because they're wired messed up. And I know some cops are looking right now. I understand you. Got a lot of friends who are cops. Are cool. All y'all ain't good. I'm just gonna keep it 100 right there. All y'all ain't good. Mm-hmm. And you know who ain't good. And the thing that kills me about officers is that they're hypocritical because somebody commit a crime in the hood and you want somebody to come and snitch, but then y'all ain't snitching on other cops. So to me that's kind of hypocritical. So when y'all start snitching, then maybe we start snitching. Other than that, we ain't saying a damn thing. Period. So more training. Yes, I'm for defunding the police. I'm gonna say it again. Defund the police. It does not mean no cops. Right. If people don't want to get that, don't get it either. We're not saying we don't want cops. We need cops. Of course we need cops. We can't have a land of lawlessness. So what we're saying is take some of that money and do more for training, okay? Mm-hmm. 800 hours ain't enough. You need 1,500 hours to get your barber's license or beautician's license, but you only need 800 hours to get your a police officer. So you can fade a nigga quicker than you can fade a nigga.
Hey,
it was what it looks like.
It's crazy how you said that.
So that's what defunding means, and get other people on those cars with you when it's a 5150. When it's mentally something that somebody that's insane or mentally challenged, you get somebody who understands that before shooting first. So that's what defund the police really means. So I get tired of people trying to say you vote for defund the police. Yes, we are, but it don't mean no cops. So let's quit playing. We're all adults. Let me tell you something about Ben Franklin. Ben Franklin said, we're all born ignorant, but it takes work to remain stupid. Mm-hmm. And he said that before Google, now, of course, it was a slave owner, but he got smart enough and let his slaves go when he found out that was some bullshit. But it's too much. We have technology at our fingertips right now not to know what things really mean. And if you really don't want to know, if you really don't care, then you won't know. So that's my little soapbox for today when I went up on that tangent. But yeah, Black Lives
it's definitely all good. Too. It's definitely all good. And it's amazing how you brought that up because I believe within the last 24 hours, it was reported that here in St. Louis, they're actually going to have a de-escalation class for these officers. And they're going to put them through training on knowing how to act during adverse times, so you don't just shoot first like you said earlier. And they have to pretty much pass this course to continue on being in the force. I know that we also have a former officer was part of the law enforcement in Richie Williams. He may know something more about that as well. He may discuss that, leave a comment later on, whatnot. But he also wanted to ask you.
Timothy Tripp, who's the only Q that spilled the yard at SEMO. Those are the good guys. Those are good guys. And in the police officer's defense, we know it's a hard job.
Right.
We know it's tough. We know you put your life on the line for us every day, and we salute that and we appreciate that. At the same time, it's like you all need less hours. They're overworking these police officers, and you need more psychological training. You know, that's a stressful job.
It is.
And hire more cops and give you less time off and more pay. And so to balance it out, I understand stress you all are under. I'm not discounting that, but at the same time, you signed up for that. We got cops in LA like, oh man, you signed up for that. Last time I heard they don't draft cops. You signed up for it. So if you sign up for it, you know what comes to the territory. So I don't want to hear that. One cop told me, well, we're just as scared of you are. Then why'd you become a cop?
Right.
You the one with order, but you the one scared. Come on, man. It's like and the mentality is wrong. I'm talking to the sheriff, and he's like, sometimes, guys, we plant drugs on known drug dealers,
right,
just to get them off the street. I said, what? Yeah, we put drugs on them just to get them off the street. If someone known would terrorize neighborhood and a known drug dealer, I said that's wrong. You're violating their civil rights. And like, no, but aren't you happy we got a known drug dealer off the street? Yeah, but do the work, catch them in the act.
Right.
Because that same mentality of planting drugs on someone who doesn't have it, just to get him off the street, is the same mentality that says, oh, he resisted. Oh, he reached for my weapon. Oh, this and that. That's the same wiring. And that's wrong. It's wrong. And that's what I mean by more training and hold each other accountable. We need you. Absolutely, we need you. But come on, we don't need you, acting this way, acting willy-nilly.
Nope. Yep. See a black man or a black woman in sight, and the first thing you want to do is go ahead and shoot. Ask. Well, I'm sorry, you can't even ask Breonna Taylor.
Right.
Can't even ask.
A lot of good points.
Facts.
A lot of good points.
So, a couple comments here. Going back to your college days, your niece Bria asked, "Wasn't Sid Entertainer there when you were?"
Sid wasn't there when I was there. No, he had gone. He was gone by the time I got there. But yes, Cedric the Entertainer did go to Southeast Missouri State as well.
Okay. Then second question, something I was going to bring up now as well. But Richie wanted to know, when did you decide comedy was your calling?
When I got kicked out of college? No.
Oh, segue right to it.
No.
I don't time with it.
If you listen to the show earlier, I've said earlier I followed in all my older siblings' footsteps. And they were very good at what they did, and I wanted to be just as good or maybe try to be better. So they set the bar high and gave me a brass rail to reach for. So I was always like the class clown, the school bus clown, and growing up in St. Louis, that's what we did. We joned, and I always like cheering people up. Like in college, man, I used to get calls from chicks to my dorm room at 2 a.m. I'm thinking it's a booty call, but they just broke up with their boyfriend. They just want somebody to make them laugh, And I was like, wow, okay, comedy. This comedy thing is. I still didn't know it was a real job really until Def Comedy Jam. I mean, when I was at SEMO, Joe had already moved to LA and was doing the Apollo and was on doing sitcoms and things like that. And I just never knew that doing stand-up comedy was actually a job. I'm like, I got kicked out of class for it so many times, and basically college. And then I can do this for a living. And it was Def Comedy Jam. It was my brother Joe that inspired me to do stand-up. It was Martin Lawrence. It was those early seasons of Def Jam and Joe who inspired me. And I said, let me take a crack at it. Because I've always done what my older siblings have done and did just as well, or just be just as good. So why not take a stab at something I love doing anyway, being a class clown, cheering people up and love and attention. There's something about comedians, man, to where we want to be liked. That's why we do stand-up. We want people to laugh with us and laugh at us and want to be that person. You're born that way. You can try to make somebody funny, but to do what we do, you have to be born with it. I'm sorry. And because there's a little bit of us that's dark. Comedy is truth and pain. So to be able to laugh at our pain and to be able to take a dark situation and find funny in it, you have to be born with that. It's a gift. It's a God-given gift. Now, we're supposed to use it for great, but some of us don't. but we're going to get there. But yeah, I was born to do stand-up. I didn't know it at the time, but I was born to do it.
So you brought up the story about how, the girls would come to your room, and you was expecting the.
Well, they would call me. They wouldn't come to the room.
Okay, call you. Okay. Okay, all right. So
I might say back then, y'all was at a white school though, because Lincoln we had curfew. You could not be sneaking in, and somebody had to look out for that back door. But
surprised y'all had dorm rooms.
All right, so God,
don't do it. Do not come for LU.
So I had bed.
And standing up to do not come for LU. You know you don't do that.
So
anyway,
so God,
what? No.
So God, my question is, how long were you upset that it really wasn't a booty call before you start getting to the comedy to make them happy?
Blue balls.
Oh.
Blue balls.
Oh my God.
Blue balls. Sorry, Ma.
Oh my goodness. And y'all just chuckling away. I hope y'all don't.
First of all, I wasn't chuckling. I was realizing it for the potential that it had to become a hit. That's relatable.
Sure.
That's a TikTok viral. That is a viral TikTok song right there.
I wasn't sure. My bad.
Let me tell you something. You would have thought I was a Smurf down there.
Oh God.
It was so blue. You would have thought I was a Republican.
Oh.
Oh my God.
You would have thought I was a Crip. I used to Crip walk by the balls. It was so blue.
Oh God.
Crazy.
Not Crip walk by the balls.
That's crazy. I can't believe it's that bad for you. But you know what? The sisters that was on campus at college after they broke up with their boyfriend, none of them ever eventually try to holler at you, or you didn't try to use them as a rebound?
Yeah, no. You know what? Here's the thing. First of all, that was of course before I got my teeth fixed. So that's my grill was raggedy, and my grill was done. But then the girls, like years later, once I went to LA and started, my career. Then of course some of them tried to come back and holler, and I was like, well, you didn't want to holler at me when you was a size 7. Now that you was size 747.
Damn.
Now you're trying to put me on your flight. I haven't bumped
first class too.
Yeah, right. But no, not really. It's we, I haven't really bumped into too many of them from college. A lot from high school, yes, but not too many from college. A few.
And now we talked about comedy. What about acting as well?
What about
it? You said that you pretty much earlier the family the family thing. Now, what about getting into acting as well? When did you find that for acting and you getting into?
Well, I mean, what's funny is I remember when my brother Joe was on Amen, and he played a character named Ice Pick.
Oh yeah, he sure did.
And I remember watching it and like, wow. But in my mind, I was like, I would have said the line this way. Like someone who wasn't even in the industry, never thought about doing stand-up acting anyway. But in my mind, I was like, that was great, but I would have said it this way. And so already, I was already visualizing what I was, going to eventually become as an actor. And but again, following in my older brother's footsteps.
Nice. Okay. So I know you brought up earlier seeing your brother, seeing Martin Lawrence. Who are some other people that you not mimic, but were your influences that you kind of like followed, getting into your comedy and acting career?
Well, it's always family first, man. Like I said, my older siblings were always great at what they did. So I always wanted to be just as good at whatever I did like they were. So that was my first early influences right there, was this home. And then, them always rooting for me. None of them we never rooted against each other. We always rooted for each other. You have some families that do stab you in the back and things like that, but not this family. We were pretty much raised independently, raised very confident in who we are, and that was great. So in acting, acting started as just a natural progression. You do stand up, you get an agent, you get a manager, then start sending you out for roles, and then and me, I really just wanted to act to really boost my stand-up, boost my audience, you know, in my stand-up career. But end up, you know, falling in love with acting and like, wow, okay, this is pretty cool too. So yeah, and ended up, you know, loving the game, loving the craft, taking a step back for a minute, but then, you know, going back into it now. Where I am is my mission now is to help get other people there, and give them an opportunity to live their dreams and tell their stories. And the current project I'm working on is going to set me up for that, and that's what you know we were raised as. You know, my sister Roberta being a coach, you know, and imparting her wisdom and her teachings and her what she learned to anybody, not just her students, but to anybody. We got that from my mom. We got that from my dad, you know, and Joe, Ramon, and Christina, and my little sister Malaka as well. We always want to help, you know, people. We were just raised that way to want to help.
Nice. And
but that foundation is key, and the foundation was being raised in church and being raised, you know, I don't care what you do and how far you stray from going to church or whatever, if you're going to eventually find your way back. And that foundation is key, whatever faith you are. I'm a Christian. That's what works for me. I don't know what works for other folks. What works for me is Christianity. So my foundation, and being in the industry in Hollywood, you better have a foundation in Christ. Because if you don't, that town will spit you up, eat you up, and spit you out, man. I see it every day out there. And if you don't have that foundation, you know, you will end up doing something strange for some change. And it's sad.
Jeez. Look, that's men and women?
Yeah. Yeah. You selling your soul to your whole.
Oh, damn.
Facts.
Oh.
Real quick.
Facts.
Oh.
You knock on that red door.
Real quick, you were talking about giving back and helping the next generation. I want to highlight a moment where that happened. You were the comedian that was brought in for Heart of the City when it came here with Kevin Hart, with Princeton dude Tahir Moore and Vincent Bryant.
Yeah.
If you could talk real quick, just to the talent of those men, because they've been out here, they've been grinding. I remember Tahir walked the halls of Harris Stowe before I was able to get there, so I wasn't able to experience him in those days. But just to see the progress that he's made from what I saw being part of Harris Stowe, like the local videos, just to now, I'm proud of him in that aspect. So what was it like working with the next generation of the St. Louis talent?
It was proud, first of all, to give an opportunity to be put on that platform and to be respected as someone who can give something. It was just, you know, alone thankful. But then to be able to impart that to comics, comedians that were coming up, and then from my hometown, it's like, man, I'm always rooting for every comedian to win, and especially comedians from St. Louis. You know, I'm always gonna be home for it. And even though I wasn't born in St. Louis, I was born in California, but I grew up mostly in St. Louis. So that's always gonna be home for me. And I'm always gonna be a homer for the Lou. So to be able to do that, man, because there's a lot of comedians out there, man, as I travel, especially black ones, man, who just don't know something. And they're doing a lot of things wrong and no one's talking to them. Like none of the other headliners, and I'm not saying none, but some of them aren't coming through and telling them what they're doing wrong. And I see these guys and these women make the same mistakes, and I think the Comedy Club is hating on them. But it's not hating on you. It's like you doing this, and that wrong. It's not the club, it's you. And I feel like it's wrong for me not to say something. I can't sleep with myself and wake up in the morning, look at myself in the mirror if I don't give you this gem that someone gave me or something I learned along the way. It's criminal if you withhold knowledge from someone. It's just criminal. Now, if they don't want to receive it, that's different. You're not withholding it from them because they don't want to receive it anyway. And you got a very few out there, not a lot, but to be able to share my experiences, and if I can give you something that's going to keep you from falling down in a pit, then so be it. That's how we serve, and we serve we serve God by serving others. So I'm always willing to give. I'm working on something right now, actually, another project that's going to do that, because I want to preserve stand-up comedy. I'm not going to do this stuff, on a certain level my entire life. And I want to sit back and watch the new comics come up, the new comedians come up. especially, you know, us, people of color, man, because we need to laugh the most, and we have, you know, the greatest stories to tell. And so if I can help you tell your story and help you help your family and help you reach your dream, then, you know, so be it. So that's my mission, man, is to help these. A lot of comedians in my generation, the other generation before me, hate on the new generations, and I wouldn't be where I was if I didn't get advice and help from Joe, from Martin, from Chris Rock, from rest in peace, Yvette Wilson, rest in peace, Ricky Harris, even T.K. Kirkland. And, you know, these guys took me under their wings and showed me the ropes, you know, and being on the Kings of Comedy tour before DL joined, before I left. Cedric, you know, giving me gems here and there. Bernie giving me gems here and there. You know, Steve Harvey and just giving me gems. And DL has always been one to give me gems. So you got to be able to receive it and be a sponge. But I've gotten so many gems from so many comedians, from Tommy Davis and to you name it. They've given me stuff, and that's how I've grown. So it'd be a crime if I don't share that with comedians. It's not a competition. It's not
for everybody to laugh, right? You ain't got to hold it in for just one person.
Exactly. It's like somebody got to keep the club in St. Louis open while I'm playing the one in Chicago or the one in Atlanta. I can't play all the clubs at the same time at the same moment. So we need funny comedians to play other clubs. So to keep them open year round. And you got to root for it. Even if I don't like you personally, I still don't want you to bomb. I may punch you in the face, but I still don't want you to bomb afterwards.
And before we continue on, once again, this is the Platform Sports Talk Show, your Wednesday night sports of life. For those tuning in on Facebook, and if you're leaving comments under my personal page, we cannot see it. Please leave all the comments under the Platform Sports Talk Show, so you'll be seen across the whole world on the screen, and we can also interact, read your comments, questions, and great stories as well. Couple questions from Roberta. She says, talk about writing on the Martin Lawrence show.
Yeah, that was an interesting journey.
Okay.
When I moved to LA, one of my first jobs, actually my third job, was a PA on the Martin show. And for those who don't know, that is production assistant. Those are the ones who you go for. You're like a paid intern, basically, what you're doing. And guy being guy, I used to be on the set cracking on everybody. I didn't care who it was. It could be Martin, it could be the writer, it could be executive producer. I didn't care. I had jokes. So after a while, the writers would come out of the room to get jokes from me to put into the script, you know? And I think one of the first jokes that went in actually was a comment that came from my brother-in-law, Ricky McWoods, Roberta's husband. He used to always say, man, you got your breath like train smoke.
Woo!
And I remember saying that one time on set, and I think it made it into one of the episodes. I think Martin told Gina there was something train smoke, and I actually really came from Ricky McWoods to keep it 100. But then they started getting more jokes from me to put into, you know, the episodes, and so they had this Jewish kid who was a writer's assistant, you know, and he was working on a script, and he always be, man, what do you think of this? I said, man, that's shit corny, man, say this. And he come to me every time he was writing, a script to submit to them to do, because he wasn't one of the writers. So I said, man, we should just write one together. And we ended up writing the script together, man. And it was, from what I understand, what people say, it was the funniest episode of Martin ever. It's called Romantic Weekend, when they got attacked by this rat.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that one. I
Classic
that.
one.
Oh, that was.
First script I ever wrote, man. And, you know, we co-wrote together. You used to pull it up. I get credit. I still get residual checks on that whenever it airs. But it's, my first script. And then Martin used to always tell me, man, sit in the writer's room and learn how to write whenever you have any downtime and things like that. And I would do it, but, you know, my father always raised us, man, to work. Always be where you need to be, when you're supposed to be there. And if you see something need done, go ahead and do it. I was able to go from a PA to writing a script, an episode the very next season, because of my work ethic. And my work ethic was, they never saw me sitting around lounging. When there weren't chores or runs to do or errands to run, I would find work to do. I would go clean up the copy room where all the paper and stuff was. We ran off scripts. I would go to the storage room where we kept all the blank tapes we record the show on and straighten up that. I would go to the writer's room where they had snacks and stuff and no one asked me to do it. I just did it. So they always saw me being a busybody. And so they respected my work ethic. And very rarely do you see somebody delivering scripts one year going to writing an episode that's produced a year later. So that was just, shout out to my mom and dad for always instilling a great work ethic.
And then your sister asks, you also got to talk about your experience on the set of Life.
That was one of the greatest experiences in my life, man, because you had, Eddie Murphy, who is to every black and white comic is a god. You have Martin Lawrence, who helped inspire me to do stand-up. Then you had Bernie Mac. And for me being a young actor, young comic, to be in that, I felt like, I'm Kobe coming into play with Shaq, Jordan, and Olajuwon. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, I'm in all of you guys, but I got game too. And I'm respected, and I hope my game complements your game as well. And that was just an amazing experience, man, because Eddie did something that stars don't do. On the first day on the set, Eddie told the director, let them go. Give them the green light. I trust them. And when you get that as an actor and as a comedian, boom, and you get somebody like Eddie Murphy, it's like, wow. And that's why that movie is such a cult classic, because we had so much fun. So much fun. If you look at a lot of those takes, that we're laughing in, really wasn't supposed to make it. Who the Pappy wasn't supposed to have been a funny line. Bernie just kept stepping up. I'm the Pappy. And man, we laughed every freaking time, because, some of those scenes was just mind-blowing at the table when it's like, what you in for? We must have done 30 takes on that scene, because every take, Eddie has something funnier to say each time. You ad-lib. And every take was funnier than the other take, man. And then Bernie really didn't have any lines in that. So in Hollywood, when you're shooting a movie, they shoot the wide shots and they shoot your close-ups. And then when they put the camera on Bernie for his close-up, he just ad-libbed. That's what they're saying. He's making that shit up. And that's what they say. Well, Bernie was just, man. And then Eddie brought what he brought, which was genius. Martin brought what he brought, which was genius. So it made us all of us raise our games. Anthony Anderson, Miguel Nunez, rest in peace. Michael Bear, Telefaro, Goldmouth. So it was just a great. Eddie said it was the most fun he had on a set. At that time. Now he's done every project since then. I don't know what he's done, but at that time, all the movies he's done, and I can tell it was the most fun he had, because when you're shooting a movie, when you're done with a scene and you're waiting to shoot the next scene, it takes a long time to set up. They gotta light it, they gotta set it up the whole nine. And usually, especially stars like Eddie, they go back to their trailer and hang out. And Eddie's trailer is like a house, So, but Eddie wouldn't go back to his trailer, because Bernie would be sitting there telling stories. Bernie Mac would hold court, man. And we all be sitting there listening to Bernie Mac tell these hilarious fucking stories, man, having us dying. And when you have chemistry like that, it comes through the film. It comes through. And that experience was incredible. I'll cherish that for the rest of my life.
Man,
and
that
learn
incredible
from that and the sets that I'm in charge of to make sure that environment is healthy. The good things grow from healthy environment.
Okay.
That sounds incredible, man. That leads me to my next question is, can you give us that moment when you felt like, as a comedian or as an actor, that you made it?
That you made it.
You know what? It's a good question, because this is what's funny. I was in New York City. We just got through taping Def Comedy Jam. And this particular year, I think it was my second or third year doing it, I had recorded an episode. I did audience warm-up for 12 of the 13 episodes. That's when you go out, for those who don't know, before the show starts, you're the warm-up guy. You're getting the crowd ready, explaining the rules, getting ready for the host, getting ready for Kid Capri to come out, and then the host. So I did 12 warm-ups. I recorded an episode, and I was a punch-up writer for the different hosts that they had, And I was walking back to the hotel, and I was by a pizza joint, and this is on Broadway. And I stopped into a Sbarro's to get a slice of pizza. And this guy was at the show, was in line behind me. And he goes, yo, son, you mad funny, son. Joe, you got mad love in Brooklyn. You got mad love in Brooklyn, son. And I don't know why that moment, out of all the moments I've had, was special to me. I got love in Brooklyn. I was like, I could have retired. And I was only 3 years in the game.
And I done made it.
But it was something that said, man, you got love in Brooklyn. And then I'll say this too. The cold moment. It was when I did Def Jam for the first time. Because Def Jam is what inspired me to do stand-up. You know, watching my brother out there and watching Martin out there and guys that in my peer group that I saw making a living at this. But when I did Def Jam after only 2 years of doing stand-up. You know, there's guys who've been doing comedy 30 years and never got a chance to do Def Jam. But I got it because, of course, my brother looked out, but Bob Sumner thought I was funny enough to do it. It wasn't just, I was Joe's brother. It was like, yo, I'm Joe's brother, but I'm bringing something. My work ethic was sick. So when I did Def Jam and I had a great set, that hug,
All good. All good. All good.
that hug that me and Joe did was incredible.
That was brotherly
But he
love.
hugged me. That was incredible.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah, that's love, brotherly love. That's yeah. Different from somebody just being friends right off the street.
Yeah,
That hug was incredible.
that's deep right there, man.
Yeah.
So you brought up so many different actors, actresses in your just set alone on the set of Life, and of course you brought up the Martin Lawrence show. Who was that first celebrity that you met that you were just like, wow, this is crazy? I met this person.
There's several.
I mean, that whole set of Life, that was just some comic, just.
It was. I think it had to be. I think it had to be.
He was in heaven already. He was in heaven.
I mean, because it was just so many people.
When I first got out there in '92, the first weekend, my college roommate Leon Whiteman was a captain down in the fire department in St. Louis. We drove out there, and Joe took us to our first Hollywood party. It was John Singleton. It was we were with John Singleton, Michael Rappaport, and it was the Bobby Brown album release party. And it was meeting Bobby Brown and Whitney Houston, and then, but the first one I was like crazy over was Magic Johnson. He's
you Lakers fan, okay?
Yep.
So
that's it right there.
I know.
Yeah. And then Eddie, shortly after that. But and I'm still. It's funny too because even though I've worked with Eddie, even though, hung out with him, Gang of Times, hang out with Magic, hang out with, Denzel and those guys, I'm still a fan. I'm still in awe because I'm still like, that's Eddie Murphy. Even though we did a movie together, he's come to my comedy shows and everything. It's still like, that's Eddie Murphy. And then with Martin, and then with just Magic, man, I put a roast together for Magic. Magic came to me to put a comedy show together for him. Mm-hmm. And to have the guy, the reason why I'm a Laker fan, like say he a fan of mine, is like, you're Magic Johnson. Are you fucking kidding me? And then, Denzel coming to my shows and things like that. It's just those moments, you don't, as a kid, growing up watching these guys on TV,
coronavirus. Corona.
Huh?
Disregard the co-head.
But you don't realize that you're gonna be, friends with these people. Mm-hmm. But it's surreal still. And yes, they're human just like I am, and no, they're no better than God, but still it's the respect that that they have for you and your craft. Mm-hmm. That's like, wow.
Excuse me. All right, we got some more comments on here. Oh my goodness, excuse me. And no, I don't have no damn coronavirus. I got my COVID test last Friday negative. Anyway.
That had me choked up for a minute, man.
Nah, you good. I understand it. Oh my god.
Hey, you know what? But that's the beauty of why we have this show, man. You know, like you said earlier, you know, to give the flowers to those who are still alive. This is the reason why we do this, is because we want to highlight the success. You know, and people see what they see on TV, but they don't realize what goes on behind the scenes, and that's what this show is all about.
Peeling back the layers to see the real person, not the actor or comedian.
Yeah. So
like you said, you human like they human, so we want to see the human side.
Yeah.
And just hear your story from your perspective. Nobody can write your story better than you, right?
Exactly.
Oh, excuse me.
But yeah, so as Bunny was about to say, we have a few comments. Well, actually, a question from Lynn Moore. She says, "Can we hear about the process of working on American History X?"
Yeah, your sister said that too. And she said, "Stay strong. We're here for you." Yay! Big sister love.
That was an interesting one. I booked that job from my comedy show I created to get other people work. Fat Tuesdays, and I ended up getting booked for that job when they saw me there at that show, and I was still really green in the business. It was '97 when I did that. I was still only 5 years in the game, and now I'm in a movie, you know, amongst one of the greatest actors of our generation, Ed Norton. You know. Not knowing who he was at the time, but still, once you got on set and you saw his work, you're like, oh, okay. You know, you learn very quickly. There was a lot of drama on the set between, you know, Ed and producers and things like that. But, you know, you use that drama for, you know, for yourself and use that energy. But we had a director who's actually, I just ended up talking to not too long ago, last week actually, because he's going to do a sequel. He hooked up with Diamond Hensu for African History Y, which is. But he let me go on that movie. He's another one that said, "You have the green light. You know, I trust you. Take this character wherever you feel like you need to go." And there was some other powers that be that was involved with the movie that kind of was trying to, you know, put a damper on that. But so I had to like balance it, because, you know, being a new kid on the block, you don't want to ruffle any feathers because you don't want to get blackballed or whatever. But at the same time, you have all this creativity that you want to let out, and you got to learn how to balance the two. And you do that. So that was interesting, and not knowing the magnitude of that movie and what it was the impact was going to be. That was a billion years ago, and people still stop me at least 3 or 4 times a week and talk about that movie, American Super.
It's very impactful. Yeah.
I have so many people come up to me, you know, on the street, who recognize my voice or do a double take and like, man, that movie changed my life. That movie was important. We studied that movie in school. I wrote a thesis statement on that movie. I remember being in Dayton, Ohio. And after one of my shows, white guy comes up to me. And he goes, with tears in his eyes, said, "Man, thank you." I was like, "Well," he said that. He said, "Man, American History X, that movie changed my life." He said, "I was a skinhead and I was going down the wrong path, and watched that movie and your character and the things you had to say, you know, trying to save my life." And so he was welling up. I'm welling up. We sitting there, you know, hugging each other like Clay Aiken and Tevin Campbell.
Oh, God.
Really?
Oh, God.
All analogies to you. You don't use that one?
Hey,
No,
it's spot on though, because when he said it, I saw it.
We just sitting there, you know, hugging each other, you know, like, man, you know, the two men embracing from different races, ethnicities, and hugging each other, man. And it was just a deep moment. But that movie meant so much to so many people. And the sad part about it all is that it's still true to this day. Things
it's still relevant.
at all. So we still got a long way to go in this country. with education and getting rid of ignorance, because that's all racism is ignorance. It's a lack of knowledge of someone else's culture, ethnicity, or lack of respect for their race.
So you brought up your brother Joe multiple times, how much he's been a great influence, putting you in situations to succeed as well. He played a incredible role on Poetic Justice, and he had the opportunity to act along with late great Tupac, and also Regina King, and also Janet Jackson.
You better say Janet.
Was there
Miss Janet if you're nasty?
Exactly. Was there a point in which Guy, when you saw Joe playing that role, were you like, damn, I wish that was me playing that role next to Janet Jackson and Regina King?
Well, it's funny because I met Janet. I met Janet the day Clinton got elected into office. I met Tupac the same day. They were doing pickup shots. For those who don't know, reshoots. There were some scenes that they wanted to reshoot. And Joe, we went to the set, and that day we were going to go vote. And Joe said, before we go vote, we're going to go stop by Columbia Pictures. It was Columbia Pictures back then before Sony bought it. And we're going, and here's a kid, you know, barely 3 months out of St. Louis to LA, and I'm going to meet Janet Jackson. But on the way to go into the set, we run into Tupac. Tupac's leaving, we're coming on, and Tupac's hot about something. It's just you know, Tupac being Tupac. These motherfuckers there, I'm a da-da-da-da-da. And Joe was like, yo, you're a celebrity now, man. You can't do that. You gotta, and you know, and I'm thinking, I saw Juice, and I'm like, man, this dude's a hell of an actor. Man, I'm looking at that. Tupac was like, you know, Joe, like, this my little brother guy just moved out here. He's like, yo, what's up, homie? Joe, this guy, these motherfuckers in the building. And then Joe was like, you can't do that, man. If you don't do something, get somebody else to do that. You can't do it. Just keep your hands out of it. Da-da-da-da. Mm-hmm. And I remember watching Tupac go on that tangent and was like, I thought he was a good actor, but no, that's just him. I mean, he's a great actor, but that's who he is. Let's do the juice. And then we go meet Janet, man, and you know, I'd already met John Singleton from the party a couple of months ago, you know, the Bobby Brown party. So I meet Janet, and we were in her trailer, and she's talking, and I'm like, this is Janet Jackson. And then we go to leave, and as I'm walking down the steps from the trailer, she goes, bye, Guy. Like, almost came. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh my God.
I was waiting on it.
From having blue balls to now.
It wouldn't have been on for me. I'm just going to say, I would have needed to change, Lord.
But it floated, because I never remember anybody's name. You tell me your name 3 seconds later, I done forgot it. But she was like, bye, Guy. And I was like, wow.
That's crazy.
So that was incredible. And then whenever Joe would talk to her, she was, hey, how's Guy's career? How's Guy doing? So that was just I will always remember that. Always remember that.
Man.
Let me ask you this. What is an iconic role that you still want to do?
Man, good question. Iconic role that I would love to do. It had to be something I create. Okay. You know, Hollywood is great. Hollywood is also still stereotypical. It's changed a lot. I still don't like some of the roles that I've been offered. And, you know, take a step back sometimes. It's like, sometimes it's hard to put me because I'm 51, but I don't look 51, and I don't really play 51. And then, you know, I'm too old for the young roles and too young for the old roles. So it's finding my own niche and trying to find the right thing to do, the right role. I'm not, going to compromise, anything to do. That's why I've always done stand-up, because I can say no to some of the roles that they offer you. and stand up has been great. That's why I've been good to stand up. Stand up has been great to me. But I don't know. It's not, there's not one role I say I gotta play that role. I just try if I read it and it's a good role and I feel like I can bring something to it and I can sell it, then I'll do it. But there's never been a time that I'm just like, man, I wanna. There have been some roles I've been offered, or I take that back, not offered, but have read for that I really wanted that I didn't get. I was kind of like, damn, I really wanted that role. Mm-hmm. But nothing like that comes off the top of my head that's like, man, I want to play, somebody's life story. If I'm going to play, I'll say that kind of role, would be my story. But, me, why not? And everybody should always want to play them. Everybody should have an interesting story. Everybody does have an interesting story. You don't have to be in Hollywood to have an interesting story. So, that's a good question, though.
Now, your sister said you never talk about Regina King. Talk about your
friendship
with her.
That's my sister. We just talked yesterday. She's like my, that's my homie right there, man. I'm so proud of her and what she's doing. And we keep it 100 with each other. We're gonna be honest with each other. If something's whack, we have no problem saying it's whack. We respect each other's craft, but we respect each other's as a person as well. And we're both Capricorns. I'm January 12th, she's January 15th. So we think alike. And
sorry about that.
Man, just she's accomplishing. And this is only the tip of the iceberg for her, man. She's doing so many great things. I'm proud of her. And the new Cadillac commercials that she's doing. She's up for an Oscar nomination.
Right.
In the new movie she directed, One Night in Miami. She already have those awards already, but to have it, in this capacity is just taking her to a whole new level, man. But she was there in the beginning too, watching me grow, coming to Fat Tuesdays and asking Joe how I was doing and things like that. So she, that's family right there. And there's only a few people out in Hollywood you can call truly family.
Yeah.
Have you brought her to St. Louis and told her to come out here in St. Louis and hang out?
She's come to Joe's event a couple of times, I believe. Yeah.
Okay.
Been there, yeah.
That's
and she's kind of from Cincinnati. She's a kind of Midwest kind of flavor anyway. We're a different breed in the Midwest.
That's true.
Okay.
So, do you have
excellent breed?
Do you have any advice for those who are trying to get into the game, no matter what age they are, in regards to acting, producing, comedy?
Well, I'd say for anything you're trying to get into, first of all, study the craft. Again, you have too much at your fingertips, not study what you want to get into. Have that foundation of whatever faith you in. Like I said, Christianity worked for me. Have that foundation. And you got to see it. Speak it into existence. Sacrifice is very important. Sacrifice. One of the things I did when I went out to LA was sacrifice. This is LA. I had a brother who was already famous. I wasn't trying to ride his coattail. I was in comedy clubs every night, sometimes 2 or 3 times a night. I wasn't caring about the other clubs and all that other crap. I was worried about comedy clubs. I was worried about putting in the work, and which is the formula. And hard work. Nothing beats stage time. Things are a little different now because of COVID, but get on stage as much as you can if you're doing stand-up. Take comedy classes. Read books on stand-up. Study the craft. Study who makes you laugh the most. And get over your fear. Find your pain points and get over them. And write. I remember something Joe, my brother, told me that Red Fox told him. He said, write a joke, 1 joke a day. 365 days a year. You never run out of material. So you always got to write, always got to create, and tell your story. It's hard for other comics to steal your jokes when it's your story. Mm-hmm. Nobody can tell you your story like you. So, find comedy clubs, find hole in the walls, grab that mic, and get on stage. And don't sell your soul or your whole.
Oh, here you go.
And then you put that on a t-shirt, man. Put that on a t-shirt.
So earlier you brought up
merchandise coming soon.
You brought up earlier, Guy, how your focus now is trying to put other guys in the position that you were in regards to comedy or acting. I see that Kevin Hart has been doing it over the last couple of years, has his own LOL network and stuff like that. What are your thoughts of what he's been doing right now in the comedy game?
That's one of
So
the
Smooth, you wasn't paying attention when I brought that up earlier. Okay.
No, yeah, I must have stepped away. I'm sorry.
I'm messing with you, Smooth. I'm messing with you.
My bad.
That's one of the blueprints that he's done, and that's our responsibility. He don't have to do it, but he's doing it. He's doing it the right way. And those guys, the Plastic Cup Boys, Joey Wells and Naeem Lynn and Spank, he set them up to win. And Harry, his boy Harry, he's setting them up to win. And that's what we're all supposed to do. That's what Fat Tuesdays was, my comedy night. I created because I already had an agent and manager already, but there were so many black comedians, male and female, in the hood that was getting overlooked because they wasn't going down there to come see us. And I had representation already, so I brought the hood to Hollywood. And Kevin, when I interviewed him for it, he said that. He said, man, I didn't know how to navigate Hollywood. I learned at Fat Tuesdays, and that's what the Fat Tuesdays was for. It was never about me. It was about showcasing brothers and sisters and getting the representation. And the project is being worked on right now. I can't say too much. And the next, probably after the election, is when we're gonna come out with a big announcement. But I'll tell you one thing: it's gonna be a lot of St. Louis influence in this story, because I'm calling on the St. Louis legends.
Let's go.
And they have come out and they have said yes. So it's going to be incredible. What Kevin is doing, man, is exactly what we're supposed to do. And he's giving opportunities not only to comedians, but to people behind the scenes, writers, producers, directors, talent scouts and things like that. He's just not doing it for comedians. He's doing it for black people in every position. And I'm always going to salute and take my hat off to Kev for that.
Richie.
And not to mention, Cedric the same way, Joe the same way. They all,
helping the people.
Joe was giving back the Love Foundation was all about, hooking up the community and taking care of the community. And, a lot of the comedians who were coming up with Joe, tell about how he fought for them, when promoters were trying to, shortchange them, especially the women. Joe would go like, no, pay them right now. Look out for them. Make sure they got respected. Make sure they got their just due. Lavelle is always, try to put comics on. And Cedric certainly with his, when he did his Bud Light comedy search and also with his show, he's always looking out for other young comics and things like that, getting them writing jobs or things like that. So, St. Louis comedians are also doing their part in helping out, continuing the legacy and preserving the art of stand-up comedy.
Nice. Okay. And I'm sorry, Bunny, did you have a question for him?
I did. Well, more of a statement. So you're saying how everything that, you're helping back, giving back, said other comedians, Kevin Hart has done that too. And I'm wondering, you're in LA, so you're around a lot of athletes and entertainers. How many athletes, I said you're in the LA area, so you're around a lot of athletes and entertainers. Right. So you just gave me some people in the comedic world doing that, giving back and trying to put on other people behind them. But I wonder for athletes, how many of them are doing that specifically behind the scenes? So it's one thing when you're like, oh, okay, I can help my boy go to a training camp or get him as my agent. But what about the people that, real estate agents, accountants, and all that goes into this business people don't realize? Like, I'm just hoping and wondering if there are athletes doing that too, specifically black athletes, and especially for
Well, I mean, some of the athletes that I've encountered when I was up and coming. I mean, of course of all, Magic Johnson. He always had a team of black women working for him. Fine black women too, but black women working for him. But they were qualified for the job. They did their thing. Eric Davis, a baseball player, he always was doing his cause of colon cancer, but he was always going back to Compton in the neighborhood and trying to get more black baseball players involved into the sport of baseball, because that's not a sport like basketball. We got a court everywhere. you know, and he was providing balls and bats and bases and all that stuff. Odin Polynice, you know, former NBA player.
Oh, yeah.
Shaq, of course. You name it, Terrell Owens. They had football programs that they always went and talked to high schools or help coach high schools and bring the young high school players, you know, along. So Brian Cox, you know, is another one. From East St. Louis would come back and help high schoolers and learn the game and know the game of football and things like that. So, you know, what my sister Roberta does and Jackie Joyner, you know, helping her with her causes and things like that. So a lot of athletes, you know, they do it. Some of them are behind the scenes. They don't want, I'll say Floyd Mayweather, you know, say what you want to say about Floyd, but I play this charity game for years. He does a lot of stuff in the community that doesn't get, you know, the light of day. Trevor Ariza, another one who does a lot in the community, and they're not in front of the camera saying, hey, look at me. You know, they're actually doing it, you know, they're walking the walk and talking the talk.
Got a comment from Richie Williams. He says that he must go. He said you were like 10 or 11 years old when I first saw you. He's so proud of the man that you are. He loved your dad, and God bless.
And thank you, man. He was a role model too, man, growing up, man. That whole family, man, was just a solid family to know. And, you know, even though I'm trying to hit on your little sister, but the whole family. Hey, he was about my sister.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Y'all get back at each other.
Call a spade, huh?
All right.
Hey.
Going after my sister. Really?
The Williams was always a good family, man. Always a stand-up family, man, that you know, we looked up to as well. Being younger, man, always was respectful. Always was respectful and a gentleman.
So I believe that we are finished getting into your personal life. You know, we had you crying earlier, and that wasn't the intention, but hey, that's what we do here, you know, on the Platform Sports Talk Show.
Probably only like the third time in my entire life that I cried.
That's crazy.
Really?
That's what's up. We are honored. And you know what? The number 3 is my favorite number too. So there we go.
That's my favorite number.
Hey, all right, trying to follow me now. But anyway, let's get into
dude.
Let's get into more sports, man. Your Lakers, they won a championship a few 2 weeks ago.
17, right?
17.
That's my number. Woohoo!
How did it feel seeing the Lakers, regain their dominance in the NBA?
Man, it was great. And all those people who want to say there's an asterisk by it, there was a bubble, bullshit. Let me tell you why I'm calling bullshit.
Tell me how you really feel.
Because if you're going to put an asterisk by this championship, then put an asterisk by those early Boston Celtics championship when there was only one round of playoffs, there was no free agency, and they had brothers in the league. If you ain't put an asterisk by those, then I don't hear that bullshit about the Lakers got an asterisk by this championship. And the bubble was this competition was better than the regular season.
I agree.
And no one had an advantage because there was no traveling to Denver where the altitude is high and the visiting team are winded in the first 5 minutes of the game. So everybody had a level playing field. They had the same restaurants to eat at. They saw each other a lot.
Same risk.
Same risk, yeah. So same everything. So there's no asterisk. This was a great thing that the NBA put together in the amount of time that they did it. It's a legitimate championship. And let's leave it at that. And 17 of them. And 17. So I don't want to say asterisk. You don't really say asterisk about the shortened season when San Antonio won.
Stars got it.
Cleveland won. Let's go on with that bull crap.
So you said asterisk. Now, Mark Jackson said this on First Take last week. He said there should be an asterisk, but it should be because this was the hardest championship to ever win.
That's good.
Because they were truly away from their families, and a lot of these players' families are their support system.
Or side chicks. Or side chicks.
Oh, well, hey, man, side chicks matter, man.
Or both of them. Clearly, ask Williams, Lou Williams, but anyway.
Yeah, Little Pepper Lou.
Chicken.
Yeah,
But no, man, and Mark Jackson, and that's my guy. Mark's my guy, man. And I agree with that. This was hard. This is a very hard season, and I'm so happy that I've been wanting Rondo on the team forever. I'm cool with his brother Will, and for years I was like, man, tell your brother come play for the Lakers. And when he got signed by the Lakers, I'll never forget. I was in Tampa at a Buffalo Wild Wings, and the news came up. Lakers signed Rajon Rondo. And I was like, what? So I texted his brother Will and was like, yo, man, finally. He said, what? I said, what do you mean what? I said, man, Lakers, Rajon got signed. He's like, what? I said, you didn't know? He said, no, he told me he was going to the West Coast, but he didn't tell me why. I was like, yes. So I'm glad that he was able to bring us a championship. I'm glad LeBron was able to, to fulfill his promise that he made. And I'm glad that they was able to keep the legacy going on with Kobe Bryant, his daughter and the other, 7 members that lost their lives, in that terrible helicopter crash, man. So it's just good. It's good for the city. It's good for the Laker legacy, the Kobe's legacy, and LeBron's legacy, man. So I'm all happy, man. And I'm glad the Clippers. I hated seeing Doc Rivers lose, but I hate the Clippers with everything in my body. And it's sad.
So they're not going to call the Lakers from being the LA team because that's what the talk was.
And it's hard now because Tyronn Lue, and not the name drop, I'm just keeping it 100. Tyronn Lue is my guy, and I hope I was hoping he got the Houston job and not the Clipper job, because now I got to root for the Clippers, man. Man, I don't want to root for the Clippers, but I can't root against my boy. So, damn, man.
So
I have to get a job.
He earned it. He earned it.
He earned it. No, he's a great coach.
Yeah.
So
I honestly, I thought he should have been in Philly. I thought Philly would have called him up when they got rid of their coach.
I'm glad he didn't go there. I'm glad he didn't go there.
I know he was early rumored to take the OKC job. That was early rumors, like doing before I think maybe right when the bubble started, or maybe at the end of the right before the quarantine. But those are early rumors.
So you brought up LeBron earlier. How revered is he now in LA now that he has that championship ring compared to prior to that?
He better be revered in LA, man, to be honest, man. I mean, we hated LeBron James in LA before he came to Lakers. We hated him. Yeah, because he used to whoop our ass. It was a good. We hated. I hated LeBron.
He had some good L's.
Man, he used to man teabag the Lakers when he played us, man.
Oh my gosh.
He was that's how bad teabag after a game. Salty teabag. So we hated him because he was, they compared him and Kobe. We was always team Kobe. But it was a good hate. It wasn't hate because we hated him. We hated him because he was that good.
Yeah.
He was worth hating. But now, man, does he get a statue? Does he get his jersey retired? That's a debate that's going on now.
Wow. That's crazy.
But why would you question somebody that's great, somebody who knows the Hall of Famer first ballot, hands down? Would he not get it retired? Even if he only did 2 years with LA.
Well, it ain't over. We gonna get about 3 more.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
We gonna get about 3 more.
Okay.
So let's talk about his teammate, AD. Reports are that he's leaning towards re-signing for a few more years with LA. We asked this question. Bunny says it's D-Wade. Others are saying D-Wade as well. Some are saying AD. But do you feel AD is LeBron's best teammate ever?
It's too early to tell. It's too early to tell. Right now, I would say Dwayne Wade was his best teammate ever. Because Dwayne Wade got out the way and said, yo, bro, this is your team.
Yeah.
And they went how many times to the finals together? No, they won 2, but they went 4, right?
The 4 in a row.
Yeah, they went 4 times.
Right. So, I mean, I think Dwayne Wade right now is that guy. We'd have to see what happens in season 2 with the 2, So it's too early to tell that. I mean, I can't believe people are even asking that right now. And then, you know, you had a season to where it was disrupted and then came back together and they bonded even more. But let's let them play more and let's see, you know.
Your sister says Mark Jackson needs to coach again. I enjoy him on ESPN. But only 6 black head coaches in the NBA, though. Really?
Have I not been saying that for how many weeks now? Have I not been saying that?
Hey, truthfully, we all been saying that. We all been saying
Mark
that.
Jackson been deserved a job in the NBA, man. And I don't know what's going on behind the scenes with Mark. I know he wants to coach. He's a great coach.
Yeah, he's the one that got the awards where they were before Kerr came in and gets the credit.
Right.
Jackson did that.
You know, it's he's a man of faith. He's a pastor. So, you know, I'm sure he's prayed on it and let it go. And if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. I think you know, and I know he wants to do it, but I'm sure he's like, Lord, wherever you lead me, I'll go. Yeah. And maybe not. Maybe yes. It's one thing I learned from my brother Ramon when we have our Bible study is like God has 3 answers: yes, no, and not yet.
Okay.
Yes, no, and not yet. So maybe it's just not his time, because if it was supposed to happen, then guess what? It would have happened.
And then it was reported today.
I cringe when I get the alerts when today Van Gundy got rehired hired by the Pelicans, and then you know we already talked about the Nash stuff a while back. It's like people who don't have to pay their dues per se, or Van Gundy has paid his dues.
Stan paid his dues.
He paid a couple of times over. You know, he get recycled in the NBA world. One team, another team, another team.
But he is a good coach. Stan Van Gundy is a good coach.
I'm not knocking it either. When I said Nash didn't pay his dues yet, but I'm talking about Van Gundy, he has, and he's been with 3 organizations coaching at least. Maybe more.
Right. Orlando, Miami,
Detroit.
Oh, yeah, Orlando, Miami, and who was Houston? Was it Stan Van Gundy or was it Jeff Van Gundy?
That was Jeff Van Gundy with Houston.
That was who?
Jeff Van Gundy with Houston.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
But Detroit was Jeff, right, or Stan?
Stan.
Detroit was Stan.
Okay.
So it's for a franchise.
Yeah.
Okay. And I just see Doc Rivers in modern day NBA is the only one I know black that has got to go to multiple organizations. People fired, rehired. I just want other opportunity people like us to get an opportunity.
Not really. You had I think Nate. Nate just left the Indiana job. He had the Seattle job. Nate McMillan.
Nate McMillan, yep.
Nate McMillan.
Alvin Gentry got fired and rehired.
Huh?
Alvin Gentry, he got fired and rehired.
Yeah, fired. He's been around the league a little bit.
There's been
a few black coaches that's. I'm sorry, say it again. There's a delay, so I apologize if I'm talking over you.
Yeah, you're right about that. I'm sorry.
No, what happened?
David Fisdale. From New York.
David
He's about Fisdale. The Knicks that fired Fisdale.
Man, hey, let me tell you about him.
He's a good coach too.
Yo, he's a cool ass dude.
He is cool.
I met him for the first time. I met him in LA down at the cigar lounge, man. And he was so, I mean, yo, his basketball IQ is sick. But he's even just a cooler, down to earth cat, man. I was like, yo, I was like, man, you all right. What? Okay, now let's get back to Hollins, right? Hollins has had a couple of stints with a couple of teams too, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And then
I've named a few.
And then your sister just said, don't sleep on the fact that Dwayne Casey was fired after winning Coach of the Year with the Raptors.
Yeah, with Raptors, yeah. I remember
they got rid of everybody that year.
Yeah.
Like, all right, you gone. I think that's the year DeRozan left too.
And what, another year after that, they won a championship. Like, dang, really? And we know Casey just, it wasn't his fault.
It's the same thing like what happened in Golden State.
What you say, guy?
What happened?
You said something about Golden State.
Oh, I was saying what happened in Toronto with Nick Nurse. It's the same thing that happened with Steve Kerr up in Golden State.
And the Warriors. They get the credit, win a championship, but it's like, y'all didn't build it. If somebody else did.
Exactly.
They gone. Y'all come in, y'all looking like y'all the know the gurus. Not knocking Kerr, because I like Kerr. Not knocking Nurse either, but we know who was there before y'all, who was building it, you know.
Okay, well, let's look at this. Let's unpack this. Isn't that always been the black story.
Mm.
When shit goes awry, they bring us in, we build it up, they take it from us, put somebody else in and take credit. It did how it happened in America. It happened with the NBA a few times. It happened with networks. When Fox first started, they had a lot of black shows. Then they got the NFL and kicked all the black shows off. UPN did it.
Yep.
The WB did it.
Yep.
You know, we're always being used to say today, this country did it. Bush fucked this country up. Obama came in and cleaned this country up, cleaned up all that mess. And then now who wants to come in and take credit for it?
Dump.
This orange dude. And like blacks have always saved the day. And comedy clubs around the country, when they first start comedy clubs, when they first opening them, look at their lineups. It's always black comedians. That's how they get the word out. That's how they train their staff. That's how they build their money. We black people are always using our backs to build up other people's shit. And we need to do something and build our own selves up. You know, we're afraid of, you know, Black Wall Street, Tulsa, Oklahoma, because of what they did. Now we have fear, you know, we want to do that again because it may happen. But we need to have that happen again. You know, it's time out. Time to making other people rich, man. You know, we need to make each other rich. But we've always come in and saved the freaking day. It's always someone black.
T-Bone Funk brought up another example: Tony Dungy and John Gruden.
Yes.
All right, with the Bucks. Yep.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Buccaneers, Tampa Bay. It happens.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
It happens. It's us. We sometimes we don't realize how great we are. I know the Bible speaks to not being proud, but we got to find a way to balance that pride and humility. Cause we some great mofos, and we need to start treating each other as such, but also knowing as such that we are great.
Facts. Going back to the Lakers real quick, there's been reports that Chris Paul may be traded to go to the Lakers.
I put that on everything.
I hope he get it. I hope he get that trade.
But I was asking some people, what do you think about Chris Paul? I like Chris Paul, and some people are like, nah, it's too, you know. But I like his work ethic. I like his mentality.
I do too.
He went vegan and went and a beast.
He holds everybody accountable too. He don't care how big of a superstar you are. You are held accountable by him.
Exactly. I would love to have Chris Paul. And then they say, well, him and Rondo may not get together. That's too high basketball IQs. I don't know. Yeah. I don't think Rondo would have a problem coming off the bench behind Chris Paul.
But Rondo talking about shopping the free agent market now anyway.
But I think he just want to get more money. Yeah. And he should, because he's worth more than what we paid him this year. Mm-hmm. He's definitely worth that. And why not? They can afford to pay him a little bit more for what he did, because he was the glue who really kept that team together.
He was.
Let's keep 100. He was like Derek Fisher with Shaq and Kobe, who kept that shit together. Same thing with Derek Fisher and Gasol and Kobe. I mean, they're those guys who are not in your face, rah, 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 look at me, I keep this team together. They do it quietly.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Derek Fisher was part of both of them championship groups, huh? I forgot he was with them.
Yeah, he was there. Played a pivotal role. What were your thoughts on The Last Dance?
Man, I've never been a Michael Jordan fan, ever.
Really?
Never. I'm real petty. He won his first ring against the Lakers.
Oh my gosh. You got to give greatness what greatness is due. Like you said, have people hating on LeBron.
He is the GOAT.
Lakers? Okay.
He is the GOAT, hands down.
Okay.
But I had two takeaways from The Last Dance. First of all, I enjoyed it immensely. I mean, to look at what he did and what he accomplished and how he accomplished it, and his work ethic and his fear he put in other people was just amazing, you know. But I took two takeaways from that. And it was episode 8, and he said, winning has a price.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Leadership has a price. Mm-hmm. Call me whatever you want to call me, but I won. I don't care how you don't like my methods, but we won. And it does. I mean, you're going to take some heat. You're going to take some criticism. You're going to take, you know, a lot of shit. But if you get the results, shut your pie hole. If I get you a championship, and no matter how I got it,
I got it for you, right?
All right, Charles. So
That
you're
is
going to go
true.
ahead and transition from NBA to NFL. So we know that you are in LA. So do you follow that team that was here in St. Louis that's now in LA?
Absolutely.
Do you fully support
I
them?
roll my eyes.
You roll your eyes? Oh, you roll your ass. Okay.
I'm gonna roll that too then here.
Wait a minute.
Hold on now, buddy.
They moved to me. Now, if they moved to any other city, I may not say it, that, I'm still a fan, but they moved to me. I'm not going to be a fan of a team that I follow that's not in the city I live in, and then they moved to me, and I'm not a fan anymore. Before they moved to SoFi Stadium, they were literally 10 minutes from me. So I'm not going to be a fan. They 10 minutes down the street. How much money I save on plane tickets from flying to St. Louis to go to games. I didn't fly home for games. Yeah, I got to see my mama at the same time too, but I was coming in for the Ram game too. So why wouldn't I root for them? Now, if they'd have moved to Memphis or moved to, Orlando, Florida or something, maybe I wouldn't be a fan. I'm not a fan of their new uniforms and logos, though. I think that shit is ass. But I'm still a fan of the team.
So
yeah, I'm a fan.
So right now I have on the screen last Sunday's Week 6 games. Houston lost to Tennessee. Man, Tennessee ain't playing though. Derrick Henry,
that boy beast.
Crazy.
I didn't see that coming.
Ryan Tannehill.
That boy is LeBron James as a running back.
Right.
Man,
that's crazy.
Ryan Tannehill getting a lot of MVP love.
Yeah. He had to redeem himself from being in Miami.
And then on the other end, Houston is struggling. They, of course, they fired Bill O'Brien 2 weeks ago. They 1-5 now. Who would have thought they would have had a terrible start like this after these last few seasons?
Look at the players he traded away.
Exactly.
Right, that's what did it.
Exactly.
Bad GM moves.
T-Bone says, I still, wouldn't be a fan if they moved to Orlando. And T-Bone is currently in Orlando right now. That's why you said that, guy.
The Orlando Rams. That sounds
atrocious.
It sounds worse than the Cleveland Rams when it came.
Right.
He went all the way back those days.
The Indianapolis Colts beat the Bengals. The Falcons finally won the game after they fired Dan Quinn. Denver defeated New England at New England. They said that,
yeah, man. I'm rooting for Cam too, man.
Yeah. They said that Andrew Luck is the youngest quarterback ever to win the game at New England.
Who?
I'm sorry, Drew Lock. Excuse me, my bad.
That's why I thought you said Andrew Luck. I'm like,
I did.
Like,
that was on me.
Andrew Luck is on.
I'm like, Andrew Luck ain't in the league.
Right.
Hey, he's also the only player to win a game and not play it.
Right. That's about to be real deep.
What team did he play for?
That's a true talent right there. Forget Tom Brady. How you win from your sofa?
The Washington.
White people do it every day.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Facts. The Washington football team. They defeated they lost to the Giants by 1 point. Baltimore defeated Philadelphia. Pittsburgh demolished the Cleveland Browns. Just demolished them. Chicago beat Carolina. Detroit beat Jacksonville.
Hold on, Smooth. You didn't highlight it enough. You know you're getting your ass whipped when you get pulled and Case Keenum has to come in to save your ass.
Hey, he was getting beat up literally
Case
too.
Keenum?
He was getting beat up.
Yeah. They had to go deep.
I said Browns in 5. I'm at Browns in 7.
Oh, Lord, look at you.
I don't know anymore.
Miami defeated the Jets. Tua. What's his last name, Stan?
Tagovailoa.
There you go. He came in, took over for Fitzpatrick, and now he has been announced. Right. And then today, they asked Fitzpatrick how he felt about him losing his spot, and he was really hurt about that decision because he felt that he had the team. he felt that it was his position, and now it's gone.
You know what's funny, because I watched that game, and Fitzpatrick, originally came into the league with the Rams.
Right.
St. Louis Rams. But he was genuinely cheering for Tua when Tua went into the game. It was like he was proud. He was happy. But he didn't know that he was biting his own ass, but by doing that. But he was actually, he's an Ivy League guy. But he ends up, Fitzpatrick is always good for your first 6 to 7 games.
Uh-oh.
Light went up. My light.
Pay the whole bill.
No, I got my portable light. That's how long we've been on there. We went through 2 batteries already.
Yeah.
But, let me hold on. Let me turn my other. I guess I don't know if that's any better.
America, check out the hotel room in Miami in case you're trying to book a hotel room.
Let me turn it around. Let me ghetto rig it and put it on an ironing board. Look, I might put it on an ironing board.
Oh, wow.
Hey, make it work. Look.
Yeah, that's rigging it, but hey, do what you got to do.
But what was I saying?
You talking about Fitzpatrick?
Fitzpatrick is always good for the first few games, and then he ends up. This is about the time he usually starts messing up anyway. So
yeah,
it's
true.
right.
It's true. It starts off with Fitz magic and then Fitz tragic.
Yeah.
Oh.
His beards get like
Hey now, hold on now.
That big game highlighted, huh?
Let's see. A great I say great game, but no, it wasn't. Tampa Bay defeated Green Bay, and then the Rams
against Brady.
The Rams lost against the 49ers on Sunday Night Football. And then
man, we've never beaten Garoppolo.
Right. That's facts.
He's never lost to the Rams. I have a good friend who's he's a scout for the 49ers. And earlier that day, he told me, he's like, man, y'all gonna take an L today. And it wasn't just on some, he worked for, he used to work for the Rams too. Shout out to Rand Carthon. But he was, and he said, man, we just look too good in practice. He said, we have a certain swag about us today. And I was like, yeah, whatever. And as I'm watching the game, I'm like, wow, he called it.
We had 2 Monday games. The early game, KC versus Buffalo. KC won using the ground game and not the passing game, which if they keep doing that, they are locked to go to the Super Bowl again.
Definitely not if they just made that acquisition of Le'Veon Bell.
Exactly. That's such a huge move for them to get Le'Veon Bell. One of the best passing running backs in the game, too.
Mm-hmm.
T-Bone.
I don't know what happened with him in the Jets, but thank goodness that he got let go.
Man, it was never meant to happen because of Adam Gase.
Adam Gase was chasing tacos.
You say what?
He was chasing tacos.
Chasing tacos. T-Bone.
Y'all ain't see that video? Oh.
T-Bone Funk says 49ers all day. I was waiting for his comment. And then
the 49ers. Don't worry, we got him one more time this season. The 49ers.
And then the last game, Arizona at Dallas. And Cowboys fans, see you next season. Because it's over.
Look,
actually, you can't say that. You can't say next season.
Because now,
unfortunately,
they're the worst division ever.
Hold up.
Not America's team. That's the most important.
Let's talk about the Dallas Cowboys right now.
Uh-oh.
Here's the thing. Here's my opinion. And I just was in Dallas last week on stage talking shit about him.
Stephen A.
Yeah, man, I was giving them the business. First of all, it looks to me that they're not playing for Jerry. It looks to me, because on paper, they got a really good team. Mm-hmm. And it looks to me that they're like, after the total line, and if you protest, you're going to be off this team. Mm-hmm. And you telling these black men that, and you're probably treating them like that. And this is a sport where your contract ain't guaranteed.
Right.
It's a sport where any given play, you're gone. You can get injured. Mm-hmm. And you got an owner or master who's telling you total line. Y'all gonna do what I say. Man, I ain't playing for you. I'm going to get this check and keep it moving. I ain't playing for you. So, in my opinion, that's what's going on there. There's an incident that happened and allegedly years ago when the Kaepernick thing first happened, and there was a certain quarterback on a certain team who wouldn't kneel with them.
Right.
His offensive line was all black, right? And when he would kneel with them, and there was a playoff team, Super Bowl bound, and when the quarterback wouldn't kneel with them, his all black line, they started telling the other team, "Hey, come through on this one. I'm gonna let you through. Hey, you come through on this next play." The whole line was like setting them up. He ended up getting injured and not finishing the season, and they got knocked out in the playoff. But it's like, it's a certain code that the black players have in the league. Like the black players, when there's another black quarterback, they won't hit the black quarterback as hard. They take it easy on the black quarterbacks. But then there's one quarterback who ran his mouth too much saying he don't think there's racism in the league. And they was like, okay, well, that protects it off of him. Since you had a chance to speak up and you chose not to. Okay. All right. So there's a code amongst, black players in the league. And they kind of really do look out for each other. Some may fight and stuff like that, but they can't say it, but they know what's up. So with Dallas, what bothered me with Dallas, and I'm gonna catch some hell for this one, even though I'm a big fan of my man from the Lou, Mr. Elliott, who is to me one of the premier backs in the league. But when he said, and maybe I misread this, I mistook this from what he said. When he said, "I'm gonna step my game up and we're gonna play for Dak." Whenever a player says, he's not the first person to say that. Whenever a player says that, when another player goes down, I'm like, so you got another gear? Why not play like that when Dak is in there? Especially the black quarterback. Don't play for that for a white quarterback coming in.
Right.
And now it will make him look good and him win. If you got that gear, then go in that gear, period.
Right.
It shouldn't take a player getting hurt for you to go to that gear. Give me your 100 every time. And maybe I took it the wrong way. So in my opinion, players say that across all sports all the time when a star player goes out. Now, next man up is different. But when you say, I'm gonna be focused, and you should already be there, period. You shouldn't have to focus more. Your focus should be, you should be giving me 200 already anyway, not when the starting quarterback goes out, especially a black starting quarterback, because you want him to win anyway. We always gonna root for the black quarterback. So, and like I said, I could be speaking out of turn, but that's just how I feel. I've never been one to bite my tongue, but I'm like, give it 100 every time, period. If you got a black boss, give it 100. I mean, you should give it 100 anyway with any ethnicity of boss, but especially when we're under a microscope.
Facts.
That's when we should really be going above and beyond.
Yeah.
Especially at that position, when you have somebody in that position go down, because you start playing harder for the next person that comes in, it's going to look like that person is better, when that person probably really isn't.
Man, you been dropping gems all night long, guy.
I know, right?
Hey.
Professor guy, man, this professor guy schooling us here. Okay.
Man, about to take
you all
some
already
video bites from
touch
these.
on? Did you already touch on LSU?
Yes, you're talking about
Yeah, we did.
with
OBJ?
Odell getting
Odell
banned.
Mm-hmm.
Your thoughts on that?
2 years. Well, with what they're citing for the reason for the ban, as far as him handing cash to the players, I thought that, we had discussed this earlier when it had happened. I thought at that time there were no longer students of LSU, so I thought it was cool. But now they're saying that, that he received money from him, but because Joe Burrow is the one who said it, saying that he received money from OBJ. But at the time, it was like, yes, we received the money, but we were no longer student athletes. The season was over. We were done. Graduation had already happened. We're finished. Well, graduation had happened, but they were already finished.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to figure out how this changed within the year, because this was earlier this year.
Well, maybe it's like LSU was like, look over here, but not over here. What's really going on?
They ain't trying to have it be under their name like that, and that's the reason why they went on and say, let's go ahead and ban him for 2 years, so they can all say.
And they probably had a conversation. They probably had a conversation with him, like, look, man, we don't want to do this, but
right.
You know,
for PR purposes, we gonna do it, but we don't want to do it.
We ain't trying to have them dig up, start digging around, poking around, and find some other shit we really doing that's fucked up.
Right.
So we gonna go ahead and get in front of his story, and that's just good PR. Always be in front of the story. You never want to be behind the story. You always want to be in front of the story.
Yep. So once again, this is the platform Sports Talk Show. This has been a wonderful episode. I'm your boy Smooth, along with
Stand, baby.
Bunny.
Special guest.
Funny. No. You too.
I'm sorry. Got a little distraction there, but go ahead. Go on, look at that.
Great, man. I gotta run. But that's been fun.
It's been
Great time, man. It's been, peaks and valleys, but the good valleys, though. Good valleys. You gotta have, the highs and the lows to have a good show, man. So I appreciate it. I hope we entertained, educated, enlightened those who tuned in. I had fun. Thanks for being great hosts. Thanks for making me cry for the third time in my life ever.
Our pleasure. Our pleasure.
Waterfall storm cry. It's more like a well up. But yeah, I appreciate it. I got a busy day ahead of me, busy night ahead of me. I'm still working on my project, and I got some meetings in the morning that I have to have some stuff prepared for. So, and I got to smoke a cigar tonight. I ain't smoking.
There you go. You ain't St. Louis if you ain't smoking that cigar, right?
For real? That's what we doing now, guy? Really?
I appreciate. Thank y'all for tuning in, especially my mom, my niece Bria, and my sis. And all my friends around who tuned in. It's been great. Love y'all. Peace.
Hey, Guy. Well, once again, thank you very much for everything. It was a pleasure.
I appreciate you.
And you have a good one, brother.
Thanks for representing the blue like I played.
314.
314.
314.
Definitely respect.
Emo's Pizza. Holla at me.
Yeah.
Cigars. Holla at me.
Yeah. All right, man. You have a good one, all right?
Hi, Joe.
He's still.
Guy.
I'm sorry,
Guy.
Guy.
Oh, you said the wrong.
Oh, my bad.
My
Guy.
Oh, my bad. Loud and wrong. Look, we had a long show. Y'all see these bags? I'm tired.
It's that damn Lincoln. That's what it is.
Uh-oh.
You tired, boss.
Call her out.
For L. I told you about that guy.
Call her out.
Simo, you. Simo, you.
Not coming for LU.
So as
you on camera, come on.
So as Guy leaves, we have another person who's joining us right now. They talk about everything baseball related. Joe, where you at?
How that preposition?
There we go. All right, Joe. All right, Guy, have a good one. Joe, what's going on with you?
I was just listening to you guys and watching Game 2 of the World Series.
Nice.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh, you mean the World Series without your
Astros.
There you go.
Astros World Series.
There you go.
Yes.
That's okay. That was a fun series to watch, the ALCS. Honestly, I had fun watching that.
It was.
Okay.
It was a really good series, and I said it whenever it was going on. I didn't think they were going to beat the Twins. So I got some extra awesome Astros baseball this year.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Congratulations to you on that. You got entertained while you can get extra excited. Baby Joe's not going to come early, so.
Yeah.
Gotta hold that excitement a little bit in there, just a little bit.
I'm so excited, and my water just broke. All right, there it is.
So, Joe, now that you've seen everything happen with the World Series and the format, are you more in favor of another format like this for the future?
I mean, like, I like maybe – I just don't like the 16 teams. I don't know. I just kind of thought that wild card series was kind of too much for me. But like I said before, I understand it. with this year, with how crazy it's been. We got more baseball, so that was awesome. But like going forward, if times start to get a little more normal again, then like I've seen maybe like 12, 14 teams, I'd be okay with that.
All right. And now let's bring this up because this was announced, well not announced, but talked about yesterday during the game about Randy A. You know how we about Randy A. But what's the sideline reporter's name from Fox? I forgot his name real quick.
Rosenthal or Verducci?
Yeah, Ken Rosenthal. He said that he talked to John Mozeliak. And Stan, I wish I had Sadal on here because he'd probably say those words. But Rosenthal said he spoke with John Mozeliak and he asked him pretty much the reason why he traded Rosarena away. And Mozeliak said that the organization compared him to Harrison Bader and Tyler O'Neill. When I heard that, I was like, you know what? That's the problem. If the front office needs a shakeup, that because of stuff like that, that's the reason why the front office of the Cardinals needs a huge, huge shakeup. What are your thoughts on that,
I've
Joe?
been told you.
Yeah.
Fire everybody.
Man.
Yeah, so
I
that already.
Fire the custodians. Fire the parking lot attendants. Fire the people that cut the grass. Everybody got to go.
Nah.
I've been saying they need to open up their wallet, but Smooth, you said that they need to do something different with the scouting, and somebody need to change and do something. You mentioned it.
And I
We've been
said
saying front office for about 2 years now.
And I said front office, but I never really said what I'm about to say now. Fire John Mozeliak. He has to go.
You know what it is? Mozeliak had a proven track record up until the last 4 or 5 years. That's why. Because they like what he's had up until then. So the organization is not known for just, I don't like you, so I'm going to get rid of you. Because look how many people didn't like LaRussa and look how long he stayed. They believe in loyalty. That's the organization and how the Cardinals run, unfortunately. But
the whole thing
you
is
can
that
disagree with me. That's the truth.
the whole thing is that Mozeliak's success really came from the fruits of what LaRussa and Jocketty built.
But even after Jocketty left, when Mozeliak came in, they still were winning, and they got even a World Series after Jocketty left. I got nervous when Jocketty left because he built up the teams that he did and had Pujols. But they still were successful after he left.
Right, but what I'm saying, right, but what I'm saying is that Mozeliak got that championship while LaRussa was still coaching. He hasn't won anything since LaRussa left.
Right, and we know the personnel. Let's change something. What's up, Stan? Go ahead.
I just want to say, Smooth, you were on the Fire Mozeliak train 2 years ago. I don't know what happened.
No,
but you hopped off.
Hey,
agreed.
That was more so Sadal, and then I would come in and be like, I see your point. But after what I just heard the other day, I'm definitely like back on that train again. Like I'm driving the train. Like, come on, everyone, let's hop on this and get this thing going again, cause this it's worse than my previous thoughts. It's like, no, y'all thought that this man was gonna be the same comparison as Bader and Tyler O'Neill, and all this dude did in the minor leagues was consistently hit. He rarely struck out like O'Neill and Bader does. How can you compare this dude to those two guys? Especially Harrison Bader.
I'll tell you how.
How? Go ahead.
I ain't got nothing.
Oh, Lord. See, come with these teasers.
Just like the front office ain't got nothing. That's why everybody need to be fired.
Oh, that's a good comeback line. Good comeback.
There you go.
52-year tenured secretary. She got to go. I just need to pack her box and ship it on out.
Right.
The 10-year secretary got to go. Dang.
Joe,
everybody got to go.
Joe, you have any thoughts on that?
Sorry, I was just listening to you guys. You guys are going, but so yeah, I mean, I saw that last night too. I mean, obviously O'Neill and Bader aren't anything compared to what Randy's doing right now. And Randy has shown that he can hit all throughout the minor leagues and up to this point. But I mean, I don't like how they call him Cuban Mookie. Let's hold it down for a second. Like, the guy's 0-4 so far in 2 games in the World Series. So let's hold off, see how he is in 2 years before we judge. But would I rather have Randy A on our team besides O'Neill and Bader? Just from what we got to see for the past month, of course. But
right.
Like, here, let me ask you this: apparently in 2017 the Rays wanted him, and there was rumors around 2017 that we were going to get Evan Longoria. At the time, Evan Longoria would have been awesome, but he doesn't help us win ball games then. So, but like, say we did get Evan Longoria, Rays got Randy A from us, and none of us knew who Randy was at the time. Would you be upset right now? Because there's people like that all throughout the league that the Cardinals, like Adam Ottavino. This dude's had a great career. He was a Cardinal at some point in his career. And he's played for 2 different teams now, and he's a stud. But we didn't know him at the time when he was in the farm system. So, like, if Randy A, none of us knew Randy A's name in 2017. If he was traded to the Rays then, and you're seeing what he's doing now, like, would you be as upset?
It depends on how well Evan Longoria played for the Cardinals. Because if he came to the team like these other guys have came, and they came in with great numbers, then they come here and suck because the organization doesn't know how to properly groom these guys to let them be themselves. And then all of a sudden you see Rosarena shining, then yeah, it'll be a problem. Because like, wait a minute, you had the talent here and you let it go. To me, it's all about the return investment. When we
yeah, I mean, Longoria, like, that was just always a name that was brought up. Like,
right.
A couple of years ago, him and David Price were brought up to come here. So, I mean, that's just, like, the name that we all kind of figured that's who it was. And honestly, Longoria, when he's, like, now with the Giants, he's been okay, but he hasn't been
exactly.
the Evan Longoria that he was growing up, which, because he was young back then, he's probably in his 30s now. So, I'm just saying, I don't know. I don't know if we would all be sitting here talking about it every single game from first inning to last pitch about how Randy A was a Cardinal. Cardinals need that right now if he was traded back then. Like, I don't think we'd be talking about it as much.
And something else that's
if everything played out the way it did, maybe.
Right.
Because it's like, another thing that we can say is that, with all of the talent that we let go this last season, I heard Marcelo Zuna's name. I ain't heard that in a minute. I was like, oh, he's doing stuff. Tommy Pham's out here doing stuff.
Tommy Pham out here getting stabbed. Okay?
I was just about to say that.
He was an innocent bystander, and it happened. It went down on the parking lot.
Oh, okay, outside of getting stabbed, he was doing good. It's like,
he was hurt the majority of this year though too. Like we all love Tommy Pham. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, I'm okay with him not being here. Like, it's whatever. He's hurt all the time. I don't think this guy's played one full year in his entire career, so I mean, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
And I honestly do think Matthew Liberatore is going to be an absolute stud. Who we got for Randy A? If you guys didn't know that.
If they don't use him for trade bait.
I think they're honestly. I've seen his name a lot for next year. Like him and Gomber being options for the left side for the rotation. And Zach Thompson, I think. So
there's reports that Jim Edmonds wants to take a bigger role in regards to joining the squad with not as a hidden coach, but more so of a instructor, advisor kind of role. My thing is, if I'm the Cardinals, I'm going to roll out the Brinks truck and say, hey, we want you to be the guy as the hidden coach.
That's what I'm about to say. I would hire Jim. He's definitely a fresh air they need.
Now the whole
if you listen to him do these games with Danny Mac, he's literally calling what pitch is coming.
Exactly.
Like whenever Carlson made his debut the weekend against the White Sox, his first hit was that double down the right field line. He called what was coming, what pitch was coming. He's like, I would like to see Dylan hit the ball, double down the line. And sure enough, like, shit you not, it was like the very next pitch. And he knows these guys. He spends spring training with them. Like, he's like how Lou Brock and Bob Gibson used to be, and Red Shaney's. They would always go down there, spend time with the guys during spring training, like coaches. And that's what he's like now, too. He's down there all the time on the backfields with them, this and that. And I think he'd be great for a job.
Yeah. And, of course, the biggest issue is, does he want to sacrifice not being at home all the time because he's going to be with the team majority of his days? And that's why I said the Cardinals need to persuade him by pulling up that Brinks truck, like, here, take our money, our house, and our cars, like Jodeci said.
They was tripping with house and car. It's like, I never sing that part.
What?
You just leave it out.
Right. I think was that Deion Cole that said that on the thing on a comedy show I heard last night.
Bro, that was the funniest thing. Oh my god, I gotta go watch that again. Anyway, sports.
Right, but yeah. So, like I said, Cardinals do what it takes to have Jim Edmonds play a vital role for the offense because they need it, and also
they don't know how.
And that's the problem. That's the next thing I'm gonna get to, which is my last thing before we go. Oh, I'm sorry, two more things. I'm sorry. But it looks like the aura that the Cardinals are getting, how we talked about over the last few weeks about how these teams, how these kids are having more fun playing the game, letting loose. They asked Rosa Reina why he's doing so well now compared to his time with the Cardinals. And it sounds like he was not able to be himself, to be free, to let loose, to just
kind of put him in a box.
Exactly. Oh, look at the little one. Hey, now.
Baby.
So you waiting for mommy to put her to sleep, so I'm gonna finish the show first. This is gonna be you, Joe. A couple of months, baby. It's on it, pop.
Yep.
Right. So yeah, it sounds like they just did not allow him and of course others to just be themselves. Like the Cardinals organization is too classy. Like they have this dignified. When you come into the stadium, you have to have your shirt tied up to the kind of like mentality that needs to change because they're not going to win in this kind of baseball without letting the guys play like, having the guys just play and be themselves.
Like I get it, but then you see someone like Colton Wong, who the guy wears his own I don't know what you want to call those compression sleeves, his own bracelets, his own shoes, his own gear that he makes, and he's representing himself on the field every single game, and he's got fire to him, and he's got swag to him. That's just who Colt Wong is. So I mean, you got someone like that on the team.
Ticket smoking out of here too.
Huh?
He might have the first ticket smoking out of here too.
I don't know. I know I saw all of his his Instagram story, but I don't think he's going anywhere. I think that'd be probably one of the dumber things they've done in the last 5 years if they got rid of him. But I don't know. I'm just saying, like, you got someone like Colton Wong who can do all that. Dexter's really good at doing that. They got guys on the team that have that fire and edge. Randy A, I don't know. He came up for like a month, and that was it. So I'm sure he could show himself down in AAA. We just didn't see that.
And my last one I just want to bring up before we go. Looks like Tony La Russa is very close to becoming the Chicago White Sox manager. Y'all thoughts on that?
How old is he? 80 now?
About 95, I believe.
Oh, 95. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm like, damn, y'all can't find nobody else. 80-year-old dude that come out of retirement. Really?
Hey, he's got a winning pedigree, and they got the roster to win. So, I mean, I didn't think Renteria was bad, honestly. He got them to the playoffs for the first time in, 8 years or something. But Tony La Russa, I think that's where he started his major league career at as a manager. So, I think it'd be cool. It'd be good for them.
All right, yeah. So, we'll definitely dig into more Cardinal stuff next week. This has been an incredible show. We at the 3-hour mark. So we all are about to get up out of here. But once again, to all those watching for the first time, thank you very much. This has been definitely a fun show to be a part of. Guy Torry came through, brought some gems. We had him in tears. I felt like Oprah or Dr. Phil for a second. But it was fun. Stan, it was good seeing you back on the show again, bro. Got the waves popping. Look at the waves.
Oh, somebody trying to get seats over there.
Also, did I ever highlight my huge mess up from a couple weeks ago? I don't think I did.
Oh no, you didn't.
So Smooth, you know, I hit you up about the opportunity to secure a seat in the Raw or in the Thunderdome.
Right. What happened to
It's
that?
the Thunderdome. They sent me the email, right? I had to work that Monday. So that email just sat beautifully in my inbox. I believe it's a reoccurring thing, so you can register however many times. They're not going to tell you no. You have a certain time that they allow you to log in, and you have to be on there at that time. You can't miss it. You got to be there, and they let you. Well, I don't know what they do once you get there, because I wasn't there. But you know, you have the set time, and then however long they let you sit, or I guess be shown, is how long you get. So I'm gonna try it in a couple weeks again, and see how that works, and then I'll let you all know because I'm excited.
Cool.
What's the Thunderdome?
You know, I've never been able to go to a live event. Don't know if I ever will. Hopefully soon, somewhere. But you know, like for the time being, I'm just trying to get it how I live.
So,
What's the Thunderdome?
So Bunny, you know how the NBA had the virtual fans at the game and stuff? Bunny, can you hear me?
I hear you.
Okay, yeah. You recall how the NBA had the virtual fans at the game?
Yes.
That's the WWE's version of it.
Except they are, well, I don't know if they're still there now, but they were using the Amway Center in Orlando.
Yeah,
so they were using where the Magic play, and they filled one side with a bunch of LED screens.
Yep, they're still there at the Amway Center.
Okay. I know that they were getting ready to hit the end of their lease that they signed for that. So that was an article that came out a couple weeks ago.
All right. Well, yeah, once again, that is our show for today. A wonderful show. Shouts out to everyone who left the comments. Miss McWoods, thank you very much. T-Bone, Michaela, Richie Williams, Alice Williams, everyone who tuned in, thank you very much. Make sure y'all tune in
also,
next
real
Wednesday.
Tony La Russa is 76.
There we go. He pushing 80. He pushing 80. He gonna be the first manager going to every game in a wheelchair.
I'm just
he's gonna have a managerial walker.
Joe,
like you go yell at the umpire on my behalf.
Joe, thank you very much for your contributions once again.
Yeah, I love coming on every Wednesday.
There it is.
Joe and baby Joe. We got T minus how many weeks? 8 weeks?
I don't even know. I'm 29 weeks right now, so I'm just.
Okay,
she's keeping me up, so
she's
yeah,
about
I'm
to
tired
blow.
and stuff.
Yeah, I mean 36 is full time technically, so. But you're going to 40. But I told you December 29th, so yeah, you're about 7 weeks.
Yep.
All right, so that is our show. We will be announcing very soon our next guest for next Wednesday, so stay tuned. With that being said, the Platform Sports Talk Show, it's your boy Smooth.
I'm Stan, baby.
About to say what the, and it's funny.
And also,
Jobo.
There we go. When it's about sports,
it becomes our business.
There you go. And business just picked up. Yes, it did.
and y'all have a good one. We out. Right. We out.